places too. So, all right. Hello and welcome to the final tribal council of Distortion Survivor Before and Beyond. Bryant, Jesse, you guys have gone as far as anyone can go during this season of Distortion, except you have one more thing, and that is convincing the jurors why you should be the winner of this season of Distortion Survivor Before and Beyond. As I mentioned off stream, but I'll mention again for the viewers and for the jurors. Bryant, as the final immunity winner, had the choice to order or pick the order for the final tribal. So Bryant has chosen to go first for opening, and Jesse will go second. And then in turn, Jesse will go first in the closing, and Bryant will go second. And as well, we are going to set a timer. The final two are going to have 7 minutes for opening and 5 minutes for closing. The jurors will have 7 minutes to ask any questions. That being said, I have everything all set up on my end. Bryant, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, awesome. Your time will start when you start speaking.
Alrighty. Hello, beautiful, smart, fun, kind, determined, cool, funny, charming, and all the other adjectives I could possibly use to suck up jurors and everyone watching too. As you may know, my name is Bryant John Edwards, and tonight I am going to prove to you why I should marry Michelle Obama and hopefully also earn your vote to be the winner of Distortion Survivor 14 Before and Beyond. This game for me, it was very much an unexpected journey, but I wasn't nearly as honorable as a hobbit, or as wise as a wizard, or as elusive as an elf, because I had to be something else. I had to fall all the way to the bottom and fight my way to get what I wanted. I had to make mistakes and learn from them, and I needed some luck along the way. Ultimately, I needed to be everybody's favorite petty ass bitch of Middle Earth, Gollum. Now, after saying all that, it may shock you to learn I've never actually read or seen any Lord of the Rings stuff. All that stuff I just know from being a general nerd in TikTok. But to go into my game, I started this game pretty lucky. I only had to go to one tribal council before merge. But in that time, I spent a lot of time trying to build relationships with those I could. And I was integral in forming the most dominant alliance of the season, Jebs United. And I know that is a very bad name. I'm sorry that I came up with it, but beyond being everybody's first initials, I've always been a fan of when people sneak Easter eggs into the merge name, whether it's their mom's name or their pet name. So I wanted to sneak my initials into an alliance name. So if you pull a Voldemort, you'll see BJE is also in those names, and it just kind of served as a reminder that I could possibly win this game. Um, every game I've played so far, I've only played two, but when I got to the merge, I was always betrayed. So in my head, I was expecting that to happen this game. But every time I had also overcome it. Thankfully, this time I had formed strong enough relationships where even though I was both betrayed and targeted as a backup, I knew exactly what was happening going into the vote. And had things gone slightly different, my vote would have acted as the thing that ultimately saved me from a tie or even being voted out. At that point, I had a choice. I had already earned my beautiful rock from the auction, and I knew I would be staying at Final 10. I could just sit back and relax, but instead, I decided that, my rock wasn't worth saving till a final seven. So I wanted to gather as much information as possible. And I wanted to see who would approach me, especially who voted for me. No one who voted for me approached me the night of. Very few people approached me the next day, except for a few. Those people were Sean, Jesse, Mike, and Jordan. That information I filed away, and the rest was really interesting. That kind of just showed me, oh, how much do these people actually want to work with me? And I'll admit, as I said before, my game involved luck. When I played George the Rock, it took out one of the most influential players of the game, all by luck. But that set the stage for me while everybody was scrambling, figuring out what to do to get every single person who voted for me out back to back to back. Gollum, I'm told, he can come off weak sometimes, but he hides his strength well and strikes when it matters. When that petty side comes up, he doesn't let up. But I promise I do cut my nails. Um, Something I'm particularly proud of, which I wasn't expecting, are the challenges I won. I never go into a game relying on challenges, and I didn't rely on them here in any way, shape, or form. In previous games, I won a total of one challenge in every game I played. Winning five felt insane. It's completely surreal, and like I achieved something I never thought possible. And each came at an opportune time. Final name. Whoa, hello. Final nine helped me build those relationships that I pinpointed at Final 10 with Mike and Jordan. My live night veto win helped me solidify more trust with Jesse. At Final 5, my gut was telling me I could be a target because why wasn't I at Final Seven? And during night moves, I noticed things weren't quite right. I noticed Jesse went to the corner. Sean and Mike cut off some of my moves when we were placing ourselves, and I noticed Jesse didn't go for a move that would take Miner out of the game. That could have been a coincidence, but at that moment, I knew I had to fight for this win. Final four broke my curse of always being taken out at Final Four, and Final three finally guaranteed my spot myself here, fighting to earn your vote from each and every one of you. So I'm excited to talk more about my game, more about Jebs, the grannies, the babes, more about the decisions I made solo, the alliances, the mistakes, the luck, the moves, the betrayals, the highs and the lows. More about my thought process and more about why in another world, maybe if Gollum had an alliance like mine, and if his cousin had just given him that damn magic piece of metal from the dollar store, or even a rock named George, everyone could have lived happily ever after in Middle Earth. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to say more.
All right, just to confirm, you're yielding the rest of your time.
I am yielding the rest of my time. Thank you.
All right. Perfect. That being said, Jesse, same thing as before. Your time starts when you start speaking.
Hello, jury. I will not be sucking up to you yet. Coming into this game, I did feel a bit on the outs in general because I've had a rocky relationship with my partner and with Prod in the past. So coming into this game, I was kind of burnt out from games. But I came into this with one mindset: try to stay loyal to my people because that's how I play as a player. So obviously, round one, um, first blindside of the season, nobody really looped me in on the fact that, hey, the votes aren't on Jimmy anymore. It's on Sean. But I knew I had a gut feeling that I don't want to vote Sean. I like Sean. And it worked out for me because, as we all know, Sean was part of my story in the season, and Jebs is part of my story. So I will do my best to cover everything, but I'm probably going to forget a few things along the way. So please yell at me if you have questions. Early game, I wasn't in a safe spot on loop. My ride or dies were Malik and Sean, and I wasn't really looped into the Malik plan either. Like I said, that tribal council, you guys, I don't really know that Malik's name was out there. Only one person had told me like 5 minutes before tribal. I was like, well, I'm not voting Malik either. So I didn't. Also, early game when we had our partner chats, Mike did not give me much info. So I said to Mike, 3 valid words, don't waste our votes. Because I knew if I was going to tribal council, I was going to need those votes. And I was correct. So early game, I was in a dangerous spot. They could have cut me at any time. So later on in the game, when I got the chance to get rid of OG Lou, I took that chance. Sorry, not sorry. When we tribe swap, this is where we meet Bryant, and this is where we meet Evan, and this is where Jeb's formed. And that is the alliance I stuck with pretty much the whole game. Because why wouldn't I? I mean, I wanted to be loyal, and the first group of people I found who'd be loyal to me, I was going to be loyal back. Some of you might not like that. Well, whatever. Um, I do think that the Kendra vote out was one of the best moves for the game. Kendra would have came for me. Kendra did come for me that vote. And yes, I threw 3 votes on Kendra that tribal. No regrets there. That was what I needed to do. And I would have threw more on if I felt I was in danger. So uh coming into the merge phase, it oh wait, I can also talk about this. I also sat out of challenges when needed because I knew my challenge abilities were weak compared to others. I knew if I was the reason we lost, I would be going. And this is why my tribe didn't attend as many tribals, because I didn't compete because I wanted us to win. So, and then coming in the merge, we finally reconnect with my duo. That's it. We reconnected with my duo. I really wanted to work with them, but I didn't think they wanted to work with me. So yes, I did throw your name out as a decoy a few times, Mike, because I felt they're not going to come for me if they're going for you. And that was right. I didn't get very many votes in this game, which I'm very proud of because, oh boy, I could have gotten votes so many times. Um, I'm also very proud of just getting to pull off some blindsides with some people. And I told people if I could that I was voting them out. I just straight up said, hey, it's not looking good for you. So I tried to be honest with people. I tried to be loyal as long as I could, besides the blindsides of Benji and Jordan, because I couldn't tell you guys you were going. I couldn't. And I did win a competition. I didn't focus solely on winning comps because I can't win comps for the most part. I tried my best in everything. I did really good in paperweight, and I almost won that challenge that Bryant won. And yes, Bryant, you were correct about night moves. I could have got minor out, but I didn't want to go for minor. So there's that. And Project Hail Mary, which I will talk about later as well. Um, so yeah, I won the touchy subjects comp, which showed I had a pretty good read on what was going on. It showed I kind of knew where I lay with people. I kind of knew, hey, this is what's happening. And I also paid attention to the introduction video, so I won that tiebreaker. So yes, I had plans. I knew what I was going to do for a backdoor if needed, but I also knew at the same time Tyler and Laura, there was a good chance neither of them were being saved because of my position. I enjoyed getting to talk with everyone. I enjoyed getting to know you all. And I'm sure there's stuff I'm not covering. I'm sure there's stuff that you have questions about, and I will do my best to answer them. Thank you. I'm yielding the rest of my time, production. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. All right. So the first juror is gonna be a little different. I know I said we said 7 minutes. So what I'm gonna do, Laura is unable to be here, but she did send us a video. So I'm gonna share that video, and then from there you can answer the questions with the 7 minute time. Okay. So let me get the screen share. Let me know if you could see Laura's face. And it's loading, it's loading, it's loading. All right, perfect. And we're actually gonna stop because I don't think I shared my sound. Take two. All right, are you guys ready?
Hey everyone! As you can see, I'm not there right now. I'm recording this the night before Final Tribal because I'm going to be at work during the finale, but I did want to get my jury questions in. Um, I honestly have mixed feelings about the both of you. At the time of recording this, I really could vote either way. I am leaning one particular way, but my vote could really go to either one of you. I have been listening to the live. I've heard your speeches. I've heard the answers to your other questions. Maybe a few gaps here and there because, again, work. But yeah, I've got a couple of questions for each of you. And then I've got one question that is for the both of you to answer. So I'm going to start with Bryant. Bryant, my question to you is going to involve the circumstances of my vote out. The day that I was voted out, I had been pitching Mike's name to you on a call, and then about an hour before Tribal, you had messaged me and said yes, you would vote for Mike. Tribal Council came, and the vote ended up being unanimous for me to leave. From my perspective, I didn't have an idol or any kind of advantage. I didn't have anything from the auction. It wasn't very possible from my perspective for me to have anything. And I was also at work and literally came home just in time to be voted out. My question to you is, what is your justification for lying to me about the vote when I couldn't do anything about it anyways? It just doesn't seem like I just don't see the reasoning behind it, and I would like you to explain it. Jesse, similarly, I had a call with you the day that I left, maybe the day before, I'm not 100% sure. And I had told you if you made it to the final tribal that you're gonna have to fight. And I'm gonna give you that chance to fight. I want you to tell me what your biggest move is that you made in this game and what your role in that move was. I want to see your game, and I really hope that as I'm watching this, that you're really fighting for it. And for the both of you, I would like you to describe your game in one singular word. If you have to explain it, you've got the wrong word. Pick a different word. Um, Regardless how this goes, congratulations to both of you. Fact is, you're in the final two. I'm not. And yeah, cheers. And that was a shot of pickle juice.
All right, we'll start with Bryant since he was asked first.
Awesome. So to start, the one word I would use to describe my game is patience. And to answer Laura's question, I have this thing in games where if anything's a red flag to me, I try my best not to raise it for others. And for me, a red flag is when people stop talking to me, when it gets close to tribal. So, this is a question I thought would come up because I can see why people would be a little put off by it, but I usually try to assure people I'm with them up until the last minute as much as possible, because for me that is such an indicator that I'm being betrayed. It happened at the merge vote, and obviously happened at the final 10 vote, and that's just kind of a promise I make to myself. That's kind of a sacrifice I'm willing to make is to, you know, um, make that move, make that lie basically, and just not raise that red flag if I have control over it. And at that point, idols were still valid. I had no idea where idols were except one, which hopefully I can talk about later. And it was possible. Anything's possible in the game. I've never played Distortion. I haven't followed Distortion. Tawny brought me into this game by bullying me, and I had heard amazing things. But there are so many new things for me. So I hope that answers your question, Lauren, and I hope you're back in time for the reunion.
All right, and Jesse.
So for my word, I'm gonna use loyalty. To answer your question, I am gonna be fighting. I do want this win. I think the biggest move for my game that improved my game was in fact the Tyler vote, because I had been pushing Tyler's names for a few rounds. Because for me, if we weren't connecting socially, which we weren't, no matter how hard I tried, I wanted them gone. So I kept pushing Tyler because I knew Tyler was pushing me. And I was just like, well, this is the time to do it. Now's as good a time as any. Because Tyler could have been like Mike and dragged the four or farther, and that would put my position in the game in danger. Because I wanted to be playing and I wanted to keep playing with people who wanted to play with me. So that is why I think the Tyler move was the best move for my game. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Laura, for that video. And we move from one video to the next video. So Tyler, unfortunately, as well, was not able to be here, but Tyler did film a video. So we're going to play it through, and then we will start the timer from there. So let me get this set up. Let me know when you can see Tyler's face. All right, and we're going to do that one more time because I once again forgot to share sound. This will be a common frequency. All right, and let me know when you can see Tyler's face. All right, perfect. Take it away, Tyler, via video.
What's going on, Final Two? Congratulations, Jesse and Brian, on getting here. You did what 18 people couldn't. Woohoo! So now that the niceness is out of the way, let's dive right into this. So, I know X asked the question of whose vote you might have in terms of tonight. I want to know, from both of you, and you can go whichever order. I will try to listen, hopefully, but I will go back and listen when I can. Whose vote you do not think you have on the jury? You gotta go through everybody. Whose vote do you not think you have and why? And it can't be like, oh, I don't think I have person A because of simple basic reason. Back up your game. Why do you think you don't have that person's vote? In terms of jury questions, my first question for Bryant is simple. How much of your game, how much of your conversations were genuine and sincere with people, and how much of them were crap with people? Because obviously your poker face is pretty damn good, my friend. I'll give you props there. But I want to know how much of it was sincere and how much of it was just a part of your gameplay and full of crap. Jesse, my question for you is, what is something you learned about every person on this jury? Do with that as you will. So, much love game related. I'm looking forward to hearing your guys' thoughts. Peace.
All right. Since Brian started last time, we will let Jesse start this time.
Okay, I'm gonna start with the what did I learn about everyone on jury because that one's a little easier. Um, so Evan is a Swiftie. I love Evan. Evan is a Swiftie. We got along with very easy on that basis. X is a Percy Jackson fan, and yeah, X is a Percy Jackson fan. I know a lot about X though, so Benji has a dog and a bunch of cats. I'm an animal person. I love animals. We bonded over that. Tyler, while I did not learn much about you, I did learn you're a Pokemon fan as well. I am also a Pokemon fan. We could have talked about that just a smidgen more. Um, Laura, Laura did tell me the story of how she met Malik, and she told me how she's on a prod team for an org, which is pretty neat. Jordan, I learned that you're a gamer, and I bonded with you over gaming, and we bonded over food too as well, because you told me about some pretty cool meals. Minor, I learned about the book they were reading, and we talked about some movies and like horror and stuff. And then Mike, well, I didn't learn anything new about Mike, but that's because they're my partner, and I know a lot about Mike, so thank you. And Do you want me to answer the other question as well? Because I can do that.
Yes, please.
Alrighty. Jury members who votes I probably do not have. I'm gonna say Benji because I feel Benji's probably 50-50, and I feel like honestly, I could have talked to you just a little more. Maybe we could have called the day you left, but I feel our game relationship went separate paths pretty much a few days into merge, which I should have talked to you a little bit more. Tyler, I do not think I have your vote for many reasons. We didn't talk enough, I feel. And yes, that is basic, but it's the truth. I could have talked to you a bit more, and I feel you would have voted Bryant here. Um, Honestly, I'm also gonna say Laura because I feel you're 50-50. And you said I have the fight, and I know that you're probably appreciating the front runner over the underdog, but I'm gonna keep fighting. I'm gonna keep trying to go for your vote because I really want this win. And honestly, I think everyone else is up in the air, and I think they're all gonna be pretty open. So thank you.
All right, and Bryant.
Great. I'm gonna start with whose votes I'm not sure if I have. I also think I may not have Benji's vote. I think Benji's very analytical, and I feel is I feel like my conversations with him were super great, but our games were very conflicting at times. And I'm not sure exactly how you left feeling about that and how you view it. And then on a similar note, I would say minor. We talked a lot about who left doors open, who closed doors, and I feel like we left that on an agree to disagree note, which doesn't always bode well for a vote. But that being said, I think everybody on the jury is pretty open-minded. So those are probably two votes I would say are probably the most up in the air among others. And for the other question about how genuine and sincere my conversations were, I would say my personal conversations were 99% sincere. I can only think of one lie I told about like my personal life, which I'll say in a second. But I wasn't lying in my intro video when I say I come here to make friends. I don't know many people who like Survivor in my life. I don't go on Discord often. The first org I played, I still talk with so many people. I'm going to the wedding of someone I met at my first org. So I really love to get to know people. Sometimes my life prevents me from like getting on as many video calls as I'd like. But the personal stuff always sincere. Game stuff depends on the person, depends on the time in the game. But the one personal lie I told, and I'm so sorry, Jordan, but I've never played Fall Guys in my life. And my Switch has been in my house this whole time, but I was concerned I wouldn't be good at it. So yes, sorry. I would love to learn.
All right, thank you for that. And now we are going to the human aspect of this. So, and again, we're going to go back to the timer for these ones. But the first juror who is here to speak to you today is Evan. Evan, hi, Evan. All right, thank you for that. And now we are
I'm
to
echoing.
the human aspect of this. So, all right, Evan, your
Sorry,
time's
I had to pause the YouTube.
no
Okay, I'm
worries at
here.
all. Your time starts when you start speaking.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Hi everybody. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, first of all, I have to say I am so proud of my Jebs for getting to final three. Um, Bryant, you robbed my boy Sean. That's okay, but wow, y'all, I feel like y'all played an amazing game. Strategically, like that alliance, like I feel like it did a lot of damage. It got a lot of threats out of the game. I feel like a lot of people didn't expect the final three to be what it was. Um, so I'm very proud of y'all for both getting where you got. Um, and congratulations to both of you. Y'all look amazing. My question, I think, is going to be, I will ask for both of you. So I feel like it's easy for you to rely on your game being part of the strategy you've had with like the Jebs or each other, like you and Sean, you two together. But what strategy and what social game do you have outside of that alliance that made a huge impact on both of your games?
Yeah, I can go first. So there were a couple things that I feel like really stand out that are separate from Jebs as a group. The first thing is the Grannies, a lot alliance that was made with Jordan and Sean. I know Sean was also part of Jebs, but I view this as pretty entirely separate. Because that worked so well into my plan to get Jordan out for rounds. Jordan I viewed as such a huge threat in this game, both physically, socially, strategically, and it worked out so well that he continued to trust me, and I gained that trust after he voted to get me out of the game. Um, and I was also always working with Mike and I gained a connection after the vote to get me out. He really threw me a bone there. And we, always had like a chat. We didn't always vote the same, but I always felt like I could, I always felt like we could exchange information, whether or not I reported that back to Jebs or otherwise. Um, yeah, I think those are two relationships I really built separately, that really impacted my game for the best.
Separately from Jebs, I would say one of my alliances, as Bryant has been wanting to hear about, is Project Hail Mary. Um, this was created, and it only lasted a few rounds, but it was with Sean and Minor because, let's be real, we did discuss how Bryant is a strong player and a threat. And now, well, that never happened. It did keep me safe for a few rounds, and it kept Minor, who I knew wasn't going to come for me, in the game longer. So at any point I needed that, I had it there, and it was a backup in case Jebs decided to go chaos and turn cannibal on each other. So that was really important to me. And also Jordan, after the Benji blindside, I feel I connected and we made a genuine bond. Like I thought that was a friendship that I had. And I thought Jordan also wouldn't turn on me for a while until I got rid of Jordan. Then I was like, yeah, because I thought Jordan and Mike were very close. But I made connections with who I needed to make connections with to this day and to make it here.
Okay. Jesse, I'm gonna ask you this. Before when we were on our swap tribe together, because I got to play with Mike, after I got swapped, you kind of gave me the info that you and Mike were not close and that y'all didn't really have any conversations. I know you said this in your speech, but was that like for real or was that more strategy? And how did that change when you got to merge, when you had to use him as a potential ally?
Oh, no, this wasn't pretend. This was legit. We had a rocky past. I I feel I wish it changed more, but I only had one call with Mike this whole game. I really wish I could have used Mike more. I hate saying use people, but I we didn't it didn't really change much. I feel Bryant probably talked to Mike more than me. Because I every time I tried to Mike would be like, I'm sorry, I'm not feeling well, I'm sorry, whatever. So I really do wish that that connection with Mike happened more, or that Mike tried to come with me sooner with moves. Mike did mention the Benji blindside to me, and that's pretty much about it. We didn't really talk much game, and we didn't really talk much, which in a blood versus water game, little weird, but I'm here, and that's part of the reason I was okay with Mike going at 4, because while it would have been an easier win at the end, as Mike says, I wanted to fight at the end, and I wanted to have someone who cared about the game as much as I've cared about it, and that's kind of why Mike's gone.
Yeah. And y'all were the last duo standing. by a long shot. So good job to you. Bryant, please tell me real quickly, your biggest strategic move during the pre-merge portion.
Ooh, my biggest strategic move was probably the Kendra vote because that was actually a lot more complicated for me than I let on with Jebs because pulling Chris in was actually really hard on that vote because he was trying to set up an alliance with me, Benji, and Tyler and himself. So that's partially why it switched on to Kendra because I was trying to maintain keeping Benji and Tyler in that game so that I could have that group of four moving forward in case something happened with Jebs. I think the Kendra vote ended up being the smartest move. Kendra was insanely smart and talented at this game. But that required so much balancing of Chris's bombastic personality and making sure Jebs got what wanted in this move.
All right, y'all are both amazing. Good luck. I'm still so undecided, so I'm excited to see what else you have to answer. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Evan. All right. And we move on to our next juror. Some would say rocked out juror. X, hello. Are you there? X. X, are you there?
Hello, I'm here. Sorry.
Do not be sorry at all. Give me 1 second to get my timer back up. All right, X, your time starts when you start speaking.
Okay, hello. I'm gonna start. First off, I want to say congrats to both of you. I think, truthfully, this was not the last final two I expected after I left, just from how much of the dynamics I knew were happening. Um, so mad respect to that. I've been very curious the dynamics that were happening after I left because it was crazy from what I've been told, and you guys seem to have flourished in that. And I think that's exactly what both of you needed to happen. I think you needed that big group to kind of just cannibalize, be messy, not be on the same page. And I think you both brilliantly got through that. So no matter how tonight goes, pat yourself on the back for that. Um, Tyler kind of ruined my question, but it's okay. I expect that from Tyler. So I'm gonna pivot because I think the greatest players in Survivor adapt in the moment. Which brings me to my question. I want to know a moment where you adapted, where you didn't just rely on a group. Because for me, I felt like I had a big group, but I felt like I had a bunch of smaller groups that I was a part of that I needed to happen. What was the moment you adapted where you weren't closed off, where you kept the doors open? Because I feel like, from my perspective, I feel like one of you adapted better than the other. I think one of you kept the doors open, like actually kept doors open and adapted. And I feel like one of you just said you kept the doors open and then never did. So I really would be curious where you truly adapted. And it can be in the pre-merge, it can be in the merge. I will start with Brian.
Great. Well, there was a time where I tried to adapt, so I'll just briefly mention that, and that was after Tyler had been used as a decoy vote so many times. I tried so hard to like open his eyes to that and gain him as like kind of a secret ally. To like kind of hope him and Jesse would still go at it, but I could use him. Unfortunately, that didn't really work out. But another time when I really had to adapt, especially last minute, was the final sixth vote. There were so many attempted 3-2-1 votes going on there. So Jebs were attempting a 3-2-1 vote on Jordan. The Grannies, which was me, Sean, and Jordan. So Jordan's ideal was a 3-2-1 vote on Mike. Then Minor was going for me. And all of these things were conflicting because they relied on different information crossing. And I was somewhat involved in all of them because I was also talking to Minor about getting Mike out. And the reason I had to adapt here was because about half an hour before the vote, Jordan calls me, and it's we had planned a call as a group of the grannies, to like the half hour leading up to tribal. But he calls me and says, "Oh my gosh, Miner said the craziest thing. You know, Miner said you and Sean are trying to blindside me." And I said, "Oh, that's crazy. I would never." And I leaned into that so hard because you know what? I immediately convinced myself I would never, because I would never betray Jordan. There's a world where Brian Edwards in some distortion game would never betray Jordan. So I leaned into that as much as possible. I abandoned other conversations. From that moment on, I was with Jordan, no matter what it took. And ultimately, it worked out because there was no 3-2-1 vote, but everybody was so out of sorts that even though people had pegged Jebs as a group of three, the other three couldn't come together on the name at all, and it ended up being a 3-1-1-1 vote.
I think for myself, especially with pre-merge, I felt kind of on the bottom of the game as a whole. So coming into merge, I was open to working with whoever came to me first with a alliance or a plan. That's like when you came to me saying, "Hey, let's make this trio." I was like, "Absolutely," because I knew you were good with your people, and I knew that would keep me safe. I was always willing to adapt and work with whoever. I Miner came to me with a really fun plan, F5, and I almost accepted it because I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if Miner was actually gonna give up immunity to me or Sean at 4, but I would have gladly taken immunity. I would have been like, "Yes, please give me that immunity necklace." So I think I was always willing to work with people. It's just sometimes people weren't willing to work with me, and that's why some of these people went out the game. Thank you.
I appreciate both of you for your answers, and I will say this. I think one of you had an easier time being more fluid than the other. I think one of you, for clear reasons, had a bigger hill to climb. I have 2 minutes left, so I'm just going to give some advice because I know how nervous you guys are. I'm nervous, and I'm not even a winner. So, Brian, I think your biggest hurdle tonight is accepting the fact that you preached one thing and did another thing, and that's completely fine. I just think you definitely rubbed some people the wrong way. I think you're half aware of that so far. Um, Fight for it, own it, and definitely just give it your all. And I think you'll be fine. Jesse, I think your biggest hurdle is we have this conception of you as a player, and I think you had plenty of in-game routes. Um, you need to be very specific about the moves you made, about where you position yourself, because so far I'm not getting any of that. I'm getting that some of the thoughts we had, like you and Mike were doing really well. Like you kept Mike in this game. He was never after you. It seems like you didn't mention that as a point. Um, Again, both of you guys, great fucking job. Do not doubt yourself for a second. Final two is not easy. It is very difficult. I'm proud of both of you. I wish I was there. I wish I had a better result. I did not. But one of you is going to be a winner of Distortion, and one of you is going to be a great runner up nonetheless. So, all love, good luck. You got this. And that's it for me.
All right. Thank you so much, X. All right. And we are going to let the next juror in who is ready to speak. And we have Jordan. Jordan, hello. Are you ready? Hello. All right, Jordan. Your time starts when you start speaking.
Congratulations to the two of you. Just know I look at this from a completely game perspective, nothing personal. Love the both of you. I've played the game with both of you differently. So I respect both of your games 100%. The jury so far has asked questions I've already asked, wanted to know, but for the question I have for both of you, why do you feel like you deserve this win for season 14 over the other? And we can start with you, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, I came into this game and I felt so confused because, I knew my partner would come after me at some point. But we had such a great bond and we were sharing information in a really wonderful way. And then she got sniped. So I had a lot of mixed feelings there. And because, it's both a blessing and a curse to not go to tribal much pre-merge. I talked to you about this. I've talked to other people about this. But I really had to try really hard to keep my mind sharp in the pre-merge. And, when we got to merge, you know, I could have been blindsided. Thankfully, my spidey senses somehow kicked in, and my social game kept me, in the loop, with, at least Sean and Jesse looping me in on that vote. But from there, I really had to kick it into high gear, and I had to, you know, really understand what my red flags were, what other people's red flags were, and how to head those off. And that obviously could put people off because that involves a lot of, blatant lying to people's faces, making people. I think it's very it's very easy to lie to people, but it's hard to make people feel comfortable because you have to get very close to people in order to make them feel comfortable. And, that is a type of manipulation that I don't normally engage in my everyday life. And for me, Survivor is a separate thing from life. And, that was something I felt like I had to do after, basically going home if it wasn't for a lucky auction buy. And from there, I was able to manage every vote. I was able to fight in every challenge, and I was able to make the best out of every situation. I voted correctly in every single vote. I um I won every challenge that I could, and I know some of them saved my life, but I never let go strategically. I never sat back even when I won a challenge. And ultimately, I had fun, and that was my goal. I met amazing people, and I learned something from everyone. And I think I would be a great representative to win this game.
And you're
Boy, I really like this question. Um, why do I think I should represent Distortion Season 14 as the winner? Well, besides the fact that I am prod from Season 1, I'm going to open up about that. A lot of people didn't know that I was on production Season 1 when we started, and I think it would be iconic to kind of win a blood versus water season, especially since I did bring my duo as far as I physically could. I've really cared about this game. I put my heart and soul into it, like I do every time I play one of these. But honestly, I think I put a lot of heart into this. I think that I had an underdog story. I will open that. I was on the bottom and I had to be scrappy and I had to readjust my game and I had to fight to try and get here. And I actually didn't get that many votes casted against me. Round you went the 6-1, what the 3-1-1-1-1. I was the only one eligible who didn't get votes. I think that's pretty iconic. The rest of the people got votes. I think that, well, I socially sometimes I might have been a bit not that good. I tried my best each round. I tried my best in physical challenges. I have physical issues. I pushed myself through those challenges and through those pain, and I tried in every single challenge. And while I only won one, that showed how I knew the game, touchy subjects. I think I'm very capable of this game. I think I deserve this win, and I would really love to represent this season as a winner.
I assume she got votes at the Kendra vote, but
It's the only one, yes, that I can remember.
sorry about that.
did she
One,
not
thank you for the questions. One really quick, I want a quick answer. What moment did you think that you're like, hey, I actually might win this thing?
Uh, when you got voted out.
I'm gonna say, honestly, Final Four. I knew everyone there was gonna take me to the end, so I knew I had a chance at defending my game then.
Perfect. Again, congratulations. You guys both have earned your spot. Don't let anyone else tell you you haven't. You both have. Congrats.
All right, Jordan, are you yielding the rest of your time? All right, thank you so much, Jordan. I didn't do my due diligence and to ask the juror to be in the waiting room, so we're gonna wait a second. At this time as well, if you need any, if you need water, now would be the time. Um, but the next juror is actually in the waiting room, and I love proficiency when I ask them last minute. So next juror on deck is Benji. Benji, are you there?
Indeed, I am.
All right, your time starts when you start speaking.
All right. Hello. Congratulations to you both via my car. I think I'm going to, as you mentioned, I'm a little undecided, but now's your time to change that. Jesse, my question is going to go to you first. You kind of capitalized on it a little bit, but are there any other moves that you have not spoken about that within your alliances and the game that bettered your game and your game alone? And how did that reflect with the rounds to come?
Okay, I think that keeping Miner in as long as I did was better for my game than it was for Brian's game because I knew Miner was willing to work with me and I knew that was a bond that I needed because like if they're not going for me, if they're going for other people, that's less votes against me and that's more chance for me to stay and make it further along the fight. So I think just in general, working with people like Miner, being open to working to like other people, just never fully closing any doors.
I will say that we did speak during round two in regard to working with each other. So it is regard to working and keeping all doors open. I don't feel that's 100% true when it comes to us, at least. But I do hear what you have to say in regard to the other players that were around us, and thank you for answering that.
Of course.
Brian, my next question is going to you. There have been mentions in the jury during the game in regard to you being able to be receptive of information, but not willing to give anything back. Do you feel this was a necessary component to your gameplay? And do you feel like it potentially affected any of your gameplay overall? If yes, how so?
Yeah, I mean, it was both strategic and necessary at times. There were times where I felt like it was kind of a mutual thing where no one was willing to give information one way or other, and there were times where, I was kind of stubborn because I felt like I was on the bottom. So why am I being pried for information? So that was probably a bit of a misstep on my part where I could have given information to gain some trust there. Um, but in when I play these games, like I said, I don't win challenges, so information is the thing I usually have to rely on, and I try to be very careful with my words and what I say, so that people can't use them against me. There are a few times in this game where there were things said that I just know I wouldn't say, and like it was so hard for me to convince people I wasn't lying about it because in my head, like this is so obvious I wouldn't say it. But, I think because I was so hesitant to give information, people found it hard to believe. For example, with Chris, people thought I was a duo with Chris, but I had wanted to get Chris out since pre-swap, pre-merge. But I was so afraid that Chris had, this flirtatious mist over everyone that I wasn't willing to say that to anyone. And it ultimately, like, I understood why people saw it. I find I can walk in other people's shoes very well and see why they made decisions that they made. But sometimes it's hard for me to fully like take that last step in their shoes, if that makes sense. So I think at times it helped my game because I didn't give people too much information to use against me, but at times it hurt my game because when I was trying to, plead with people that I was telling the truth, they just weren't sure.
Hmm. Okay, and then since both of you feel that my vote is undecided for either of you, I want either one of you, whoever wants to start, tell me why should I vote for you, especially with the game relationship that we had throughout. Either one of you could start.
So I think you should vote for me because honestly, while we may not have talked as much as I would have liked, and while I really do wish we worked together more, I do think our connection was genuine, and I should have pushed it more, and I do regret that. That's one of my bigger regrets in the game. I wish we talked a little bit more, and I wish I said, "Hey Benji, listen, we should call." Because there was times that I really regret not calling you and getting to talk more.
And I, hope you're willing to vote for me because I really respected you in this game from the moment we were on the same tribe. I really appreciated our chats because they weren't always immediately strategic. There are a few people in this game who would just let general conversation go before jumping in, but you were also willing to take that leap into strategic conversation. And even when we found ourselves on opposite ends of the vote, you were open to coming back together to try to find a connection. And that's something I really, respect. And if unfortunately I didn't, you were a threat to my game ultimately. So it's hard for me to not take the chance to get you out. But ultimately I respect your game so much, and I hope you see that and see, you know, why I saw the reason to take you out and to take the other people out of this game when I had to.
All right, thank you both. I will say, regardless of how the game is, I love you both on a personal level. Truly, Bryant, you can message me whenever you want. Jesse, you can message me whenever you want, please. Um, what I'm looking for is not only um, eloquence, but the knockdown, like fire and like knockdown, kickdown, scratch out fight. Bring me your fire. I want to see it. You worked to get here this far. Don't pull any punches here, because I'm sure the rest of the jury are waiting to hear something else even greater. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Benji. All right. We have the next juror on deck, which is Minor. Minor, hello. Minor, you're muted. All right, Minor, your time starts when you start speaking.
Okay. Hi. Um, Congrats on making final two. Um, so this is a question for both of you. You guys will think about it, and then towards the end, I'll have you tell me. So the two questions are, if your survivor journey this season can be made into a book, what would that title be? And then what Pokemon do you think you played as? Okay, so those are the two. Think about it. So my question right now is for Bryant. So like I know me and you had that one night, which is like full on paragraphs, messages. Yes or no? Were you actually open in working with people outside of that group that you had, like with me, Jordan, Laura, Benji, Tyler? Like after the rocks, you kept going on saying you were open, but you really weren't. So were you really or no?
This is it, Sorry, this is just a complicated question in my head. I know it's simple as a simple question over, it's a yes or no question. But there was a certain point where I realized who my group was, right? Where I was ready to go to the end with them. But if I saw, a flicker of like there was a new group who would I could see really believe them taking me to the end, then yes, I would 100% be open to any information because that's something like I said before, information is something I value so much in this game. And I really, really wanted to learn more. But, I also have to accept for myself that I have trouble when I burn a bridge. It's hard for me to go back to it expecting anything but ashes, right? I'm not going to be able to cross that bridge again. So I, unfortunately for myself, rely on the other person sometimes to build those bridges back. And that's not always fair, right? I try sometimes. You are someone I wanted to work with from the beginning, and like I said in those big long conversations, there were things that I think just got between that we just couldn't resolve in our own stories. Um, but yeah, that's, I think ultimately in the moment for you, probably no. Um, Earlier in the game, yes. I think it just comes down to the person and the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that, I was in the final five. Like I told you, I knew I was going home.
Mm-hmm.
Sean mentioned like, hey, if you don't win immunity, it's like hard not to vote for you.
Mm-hmm.
I told you like my pitch, and
Yeah.
you said you think about it. Jesse
Mm-hmm.
told me you'd already decided a few hours, and you told me at the last second, you're like, hey, not last second, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But you were like, hey, I decided at the like why did you wait so long? That like very close to tribal instead of
Yeah.
right when you decided not.
So I always want to like think about things still. Like even though in retrospect, I know I wasn't going to change in the moment. I respect people enough to still consider it and to still think it through to the best of my ability. So I wanted to, because you gave a good pitch. Everything you said made sense, right? And I didn't want to just, immediately say no to that. I wanted to think it through and think what was best for my game. I owed that to myself and I owed that to you.
Okay, thank you. Jesse, Sean mentioned he wanted to take my Final Five deal. And I think you brought it up too, that you were thinking about it too. What did you decide, like, why did you decide not to take it?
So I'm gonna be honest, we literally talked about that final deal until the last possible second. We were so tempted to take that offer. And then Sean was like, okay, I think we're just gonna stick with the original plan. And I was like, oh. Because I kind of wanted to take your offer. I would have gladly have taken that immunity. I would have been like, yes, please, I'll take it. And then yes, I would have probably voted out Mike or you. I don't know at that point. I would have had to listen to both of you. But I wanted to take that so bad because I was like, listen, I've always been open and I want to be open and I want to work with you. But it never happened. And I was sad. I'm telling you, that vote out made me sad. That's why I told you earlier in the day. I was like, I don't think it's looking good for you because I wanted you to try and fight and come up with a plan. And it didn't work out, sadly.
Well, thank you, because I pitched different plan like deals to every single person. So
Yep.
like I'm glad like it could have happened. Okay. I know there's just like a few people left, and then your final speeches. Just make sure you're fighting, like show that fire, that passion. Explain like some of the stuff that you haven't talked about, like like touch it up, bring it up. Yeah, just go hard. And do you guys have your Pokemon and book titles?
I do. So
Yeah.
I'm going with Espeon, who's one of my favorite Pokemon, because I also like purple. And honestly, I'm gonna say The Shrew in the Cabin because it sounds like a horror book, and I think it just matches the vibes.
I am going with very similarly EV because I never knew at some point I just had to choose a path and who I was going to evolve into, depending on the situation. Specifically, the one that could evolve into anything though in the anime. And Ash is not Bridges.
Okay, I think
All
that's
right.
almost seven,
Thank
right?
you, Minor. And I did not ask the next juror to join, so give me 1 second. All right. We are trying to see. All right. We have the next juror. Letting them in now. We have Sean. Hey, Sean, can you hear me?
Oh,
All right,
hello.
Sean.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Yes, I hear you.
All right. Your time starts when you start speaking.
Hi, Jebs. The B and the J live on. Congratulations to you both. I'm really happy for both of you. Genuinely love you both so much. Um, the jury's still out on what to do. So I I'm gonna ask a question that's not like brand new. It's been done before. Um, what why do you think the other person deserves to win? The Jebs were so close. We were so loyal and uplifting with each other. So I kind of want to hear some uplifting things you all see about your opponent in this situation.
I'm happy to go first because I adore Jessie. I connected with Jessie pretty immediately from her intro video. I was like, this is someone I want to work with. But she played a beautiful under the radar game. I could tell she was always working things, but I could never quite figure out what it was. And I think, that is something to be so valued. I never once underestimated her in this game. Didn't I was stressing out hard with this final travel because I knew she would bring it, and I knew she had a lot of surprises in store. Yeah.
Bryant. Now, there's a lot of nice things I could say about Bryant because, like Brian said, I feel like I connected with Bryant as soon as we met. I was like, oh, we have stuff in common. Bryant played a more flashier game, which Bryant wasn't afraid to like pull that rock and be like, bam, rock. I think Bryant played a very strong physical game. Obviously, they won comps. I think Bryant also played a strong social game from what I can see. And I know you play a strong strategic game because a lot of our ideas we bounced around. So I think Bryant is just as deserving of the win, and I would be happy, very happy if either of us won.
Okay, and finally, I just want to say I think there are aspects that you both are somewhat selling yourselves short on. So really dig deep, like Jeff Probst says in a corny way. Dig deep, think hard. Like, what did you do socially, strategically, physically, you give it your all in the final plea. Obviously, there's one more question to be asked by Mike, but really sell yourselves right now because it's still so up in the air. But overall, I'm really proud of both of you. You both have played great games. I see both of your games. We were so tight. I see them. Like I wanna pitch for both of you in this moment. You're both doing a good job, but like be better than the other one. Do it. It's carnage now. Go after each other. Fuck the Jebs. Just kidding. Love the Jebs. But anyways, I'm excited to see who wins.
All right. Thank you, Sean. All right. And we're here with the last juror that's going to be coming tonight. And here's Mike. Mike, can you hear us? Mike?
Oh, we're still loading. All right. Y'all, they're grilling me in that. No, I'm kidding.
All right, Mike,
Hi,
your time
guys.
starts when you start speaking.
First of all, I also want to give a congratulations, final two. Y'all did the damn thing that we could not do. Super proud of both of you. My question, I believe, got answered earlier. I was also going to touch base on why representation matters and why I think you guys why I think you guys should deserve you should be the representation of season 14, because as far as I'm concerned, season 10, I don't know about that one, chat. Shout out to Aaliyah. But I'll pivot for a minute. I do have a backup question. And I want you guys to explain your game to me with a song. And I want Brian to go first.
Oh man, I hope that 60 grand I spent on a theater degree is worth it. No, I'm still paying it back. Well, I started this game not knowing what to do. I didn't know anyone or what to say. So I went to Jordan, I went to Mac. But Mac said, bye bye, I can't play anymore. Then we swapped. And I said, hey, Jesse. I said, hey, Sean. I said, Evan, I adore you. Please come together. And who are we gonna get out? I don't know, but then another swap happened, but only one person swapped, and we didn't even go to tribal, and that was fine. And then merge happened, and what do? I don't know, but it's my name out there. So I sat there and I thought, oh no, what's next? And then I played George the Rock. That involved some luck. And George took out X. But that also told me something I haven't talked about yet that involves you, Mike. And I know you think your idol was a surprise to me. But it was very strange that no one played an idol when they were going to a wheel. So who would feel safe enough to not play an idol but the person with immunity? So I worked on who to get out next. I dropped these seeds about Benji, and then I connected with Jordan more, and you and we got even farther, and I'm embarrassing myself, but what am I to do? I think this is great, and I'm gonna continue. Oh, I just rhymed, I didn't expect that. Oh, here we go at final five. Minor and me, we just collide. But next, I had to just go in, and I won 3 in a row. Oh no, I had to take out the final man who was in my way, and everyone said he had to get out. I just realized my mom's watching this. I think, oh no, and some of my best friends too. And that's all I think I have to say, except I hope I have your votes, because I think I've tried my best. I've broken hearts, but that's the best. Yes, I rhymed best with best, but that's the end of my song because it's been too long.
Can I just say that is not what I meant by my question, but that was way too good to.
Wait, what did you mean by your question?
I meant like
I
just a
will
song
answer
in
this.
general, like a song title or something. I should have said song title. That did not go in vain. That was incredible. It's just not what I meant by my question.
But anyways,
Hot to go.
I will not be performing a song. I will be answering this question. So, Mike, I'm gonna be honest. I'm going with your music taste and my music taste. So I'm picking two songs. We're going The Fate of Ophelia, Taylor Swift, because I mean, hello, I'm a Swiftie. And for the Avenged Sevenfold song, we're going with Tension because oh boy, was this game full of tension at every single moment. And also, Mike, the Idol thing Bryant mentioned. Yeah, I didn't tell Bryant, but I did tell Sean. So I'm just gonna own up to that now.
That's fine. I told both of you, all three of y'all individually anyway.
I know. That's why I feel less bad about it. And also, yes, cast photo pic. I see you.
This is on the internet. Cool. Cool. Okay. This is great.
Oh, I hit the mute button, but I lagged and it didn't unmute. Do I still have time left?
Yeah, you have like a minute and 40 seconds.
Yep, yes,
Yes.
you do. Yes, you do.
Oh, yeah, thank you, X-Prod there. I'll close off by saying congratulations. Again, I think both of you are very much deserving. I think one of you will definitely represent our season well, whichever winner that may be. And I want y'all to sit on that banger Brian just dropped. I yield the rest of my time.
Double platinum, I hope.
All right. Thank you, Mike. All I could
We will
say.
get in contact with Michelle Obama. We will make that go platinum.
I think she just left me at the altar, to be honest.
All right. Thank you, Mike. I will say if Discord allowed soundboards to be that long, I knew what I would have added to the Distortion server. Anyways, we are now at the point of this where we are getting into final speeches. You've heard what the jurors have said, you've heard what the jurors have asked, and now is your time to pitch your final plea. So, Jesse, as per order, you are going first. The time, your 5-minute timer will start when you start speaking.
Hey, oh boy. I'm trying not to get emotional because this actually does mean a lot to me. I always had a few tears a few times, so we'll try not to break into tears. Jury, I just want to thank you all for your questions and for giving us both a fair shot at this game. I think I deserve to win. I want to represent Distortion. I really want to represent Distortion. And honestly, I feel under radar games don't get appreciated enough. And I feel I played this game and I really want this win. I feel I did stuff when I needed to. I talked to the people I needed to get here. Being an underdog, I really wanted to play loyal. I wanted to have people's backs who had my back. And Distortion really does mean a lot to me as a human and as a game player. And I can't trash talk Bryant because that's just not who I am, which is why I have this whole thing. I I think I played as heroic as I could, and honestly, I hope at the end of the day, regardless of who you vote for, that you're proud of both of us because I think we both deserve this win. And thank you again, Prod, for having me. And thank you, Mike, for forcing me to play because I wasn't going to play at first. So thank you, Mike, for forcing me to play and giving me the opportunity to play this game and to get here and just have a chance at winning. Thank you. I yield my time because otherwise I'm going to start crying and nobody wants that.
All right. Thank you, Jesse. Bryant, your 5 minutes starts when you start talking.
Great. You know, I was going to sing my closing speech, but I don't think I can now. I actually wrote this whole thing, but I'm kind of going to toss it out except one specific section that I put a lot of thought into. And, you know, this whole game meant so much to me. I said to a lot of people, I don't play these games often because they cause me a ton of stress because I really have to separate myself from my everyday life in order to succeed in these games. And that requires betraying people. That requires lying to people. We all do it, and I play these games, wanting to connect with people because I want to keep those connections after the game, while knowing that these people are going to be coming after me and that I'm going to be coming after them. And I know what makes me fearful of others in these games, and I am not willing to give those things to others, and unfortunately, sometimes that, hurts people, and that makes them feel like I played them because, I did. Um, I played some people in this game, and that's something I have to be okay with because it's the game I signed up for. It's the game everybody signed up for, and I try my damnedest to do it with, kindness. And I hope that is seen. And if it's not, I am more than happy to chat more about that. But every twist in this game, I fought. Every single moment in this game, I had to make a choice that was best for me. Whether that was sticking with Jebs or whether that was trying to figure out a backdoor in case Jebs imploded. And the thing that I am saving for my closing speech, because it's gonna sound a bit like pandering, but something that is kind of a life thing of mine, is I firmly believe that everybody in my life, no matter who they are, whether they've, done me terribly wrong or whether they are such an important person in my life, impacts me in some way. And I'm gonna keep it game related, but and I'll keep it fast. But Evan, you taught me the importance and power of being strategically blunt, and sometimes being blunt just for the fun of it. X, you taught me how to use information to not just build a path forward, but to build an entire root system of options. Benji, you taught me how to find common ground even after being against each other. Tyler, you taught me how to stay calm when you know your name is out there. Laura, you taught me the importance of a well-timed video call. Jordan, you taught me the power of building social rapport before jumping into strategy and the importance of a good beer on those calls. Minor, you taught me the importance of fighting to keep doors open even when you think the other person closed them. Mike, you told me that knowing when to take a shot and be a little greedy, even if it could make you a target, is sometimes what you have to do. Sean, you showed me that connection can come in many forms and at any time. And Jesse, you're not on the jury, but you showed me that just having fun can sometimes be the best strategy. I'm proud of the game I played. I'm proud of the mistakes. I'm proud of the successes. Anything after that, I will happily discuss after this game. But I firmly believe I played quite possibly one of the best games of the season with the hand I was dealt. I always voted correctly. I won when I had to. I played my advantage correctly and used that luck to my best. I created a strong alliance, and I built bridges and burnt bridges. And I'm proud of all the things I learned about myself and the fun I had. So I hope I earned your vote, but I also trust that you know what's best for who you want to vote for. So no harm, no foul, but if you give it to me, thank you. I'll invite you to Michelle and I's wedding.
All right, and you're yielding your time.
Unless you want me to sing, yeah.
It's up to you.
I can rap, but I think I'll pass that.
All right, sounds good. And with that, I want you both to just take a deep breath in through the nose and out the mouth. It is over. At this time, you've done what you guys have set out to do. You convinced some jury members, you've spoke to some jury members, you had your opening and closing pleas, and now you can sit here and just wait. As for the jurors, now is the time. We will give you guys roughly about 10-ish, 10, 15 minutes. Don't push it. You're gonna have about 10 minutes. Go in your prod chat and go into your prod chat, submit your votes on who you are voting for. Again, I would like to specify this. I like to specify this every season. You are voting for someone to win. You're not voting someone out. You are voting for someone to win. The vote that you cast will be for someone to win as well. We are going to let the pre-jurors come in as well, and we're going to have a nice little reunion after this, after the vote count. But jurors, now is the time. Go to your prod chats, submit your final votes for a winner this season. And then once you do, you can join the Zoom and I'll let you in. Good luck, guys.
Shout out. I want to give a little advertisement shout out. So as you guys all know, me and Seb played a duos challenge game this past weekend, and it was a live game. Such a blast. So if any duos who were on this cast this season, it felt right to talk about this game for a duos themed finale. So if any duos, if you guys are ever interested in playing a live game, play Synergy next year when they release applications. You are going to have literally such a fun time. And there's no voting people out. It's basically the most social it gets is you save a team from elimination. Other than that, you don't vote anybody out. So any duos, once they open, definitely try it.
My mom did say the song was good, so
And that's all that matters.
that's all that's ever mattered. Love you, Mom. Thanks for watching. I know you don't use YouTube.
I will say, Brian, I took a screenshot of the moment when you realized that you had misunderstood the question. So if you want that screenshot, I will happily send it to you. It might be one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. I don't think you understand how wide your eyes were in that moment, and it was iconic.
Send it along. Did everybody else realize? And y'all are just like, we're gonna let
Yes.
this ride. Okay.
I knew. I knew.
I need to go watch his question again because it felt like something he would ask, you know?
It was one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen. And honestly, and Connie, I will send you the screenshot.
No, do not send it to Tommy.
Connie's
We
probably
agree.
watching,
Never
so
never send a picture to Tony. Never.
Tony already has a file of me.
Oh, that's amazing. Like, you'll see this picture and you'll understand. I was literally crying.
I was like, Mike seemed like he was like, this is what I wanted. His face, this is what I want. This is what I was expecting. I was like, I'm gonna save enough time for Jesse to do the same.
Here, Jesse, I'll send it to you too because it was incredible.
I also require more cat photos from Timmy and Prod as a whole. Thank you.
Give me like 5 minutes.
Cassie, that's beautiful. I'm gonna frame that and give it to my family on Christmas.
I just knew I had to take that screenshot because when I saw the look on your face, I was like, "Oh, this is amazing." Because I mean, you could feel your horror seeping through the screen, even though, I mean, that was an amazing song. So, like, absolutely amazing.
And I've done some crazy shit on stage. So that's says a lot. Jesse's face is even better. She's just like,
I was just like, yes, I know exactly what is going on.
everybody just collectively agreed to not interrupt.
Well, it's rude to interrupt. I was like, I'm just gonna wait till you're done. And if Mike
Shout
didn't tell
out.
you, I would have been like, I don't think this is what Mike meant. So
Yeah. Shout out Lily, my ride or die for my last game. Shout out Sarah. Shout out Mom.
I'm gonna shout
Tawny.
out my non-existent prod guests. I had no one all season. It was very lonely in there.
I love you both.
Iconic final two. Ate it up.
Adore you, Sean.
Love you both.
Tawny, get out of here.
Never.
Hello, friends. All right. It's the moment we've been waiting for. But I got to do my thank yous first. First off, thank you so much to all of you players. You have been amazing to host. You've made every second of this game feel so impactful. And I, I mentioned it a little at the end of Final Three, but the fact that we started this season with a bang, every tribal council, it felt like there was something more impactful than the next going through each round. And real talk, after season 4 of Distortion, I didn't even want to look at Blood vs. Water. Like the actual seasons triggered me to watch. And so when we had talked about what to do for season 14, what we're gonna do for season 15 was originally season 14. And then we decided, Grace, and Billy, we sat down and we said, we got to right our wrongs. And we had such an amazing time this season. The 20 people who are on this cast truly brought it their all. And I'm so thankful for all of you. To my prod team, thank you so much. You guys have been such a rock. I want to specifically shout out Timmy, Cassie, and Jen. There were 2 weeks in particular where me, Grace, and Billy were really busy, and they really took the game by the handle. If you've the alumni know, I have a hard time letting other people host tribal councils. I'm very much a type of person who wants to be there for the action of this game. So when me and Grace were gone for this past weekend, um, and Timmy was like, "Oh, I'll host tribal council." I was like, okay, sure. But Timmy killed it, and Jen and Cassie killed it. Shout out to Billy as always, holding down the fort as well. Don't give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And Grace as always, I love you. And Again, shout out to all of you. Shout out to the viewers this season. You guys have been super interactive. I'll give a special shout out to Noah, who was helping us out a lot with the VIP lounge this season. They were such a blast, and they were they were really keeping an eye on the season, and I really appreciated that. That being said, I have the votes. Again, these are votes for a winner. We're voting for a winner tonight. And if anyone has a rock and they'd like to play it, now would be the time to do so.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not
Wait, I
valid.
don't have immunity for this one.
All right. I'm going to read the votes. Again, this is for a winner. First vote. Can you guys hear me? All right. First vote is for Brian to win. Second vote is for Jesse to win. Third vote, Brian. Fourth vote, Jesse. Fifth vote, Brian. Sixth vote, Jesse. Seventh vote, Brian. Eighth vote is for Jesse. We have 4 votes, Brian, 4 votes, Jesse, 1 vote left. The 9th and final vote. And the winner of Distortion Survivor Before and Beyond. Congratulations, Jesse. You have won this season. Congratulations. The floor is yours if you have any words, Jesse.
Oh boy. I didn't see that coming. That was a blind side on me. So Brian had it. Oh my gosh. This is just wow. I don't win very often. My last win was Power Grab. Because I don't play these games often anymore because I was really burnt out. I was like, I'm not vibing with the org community anymore, but holy smokes. Just shout out again Jebs as a whole because y'all are amazing. And like I said in my final speech, I was on prod from season 1 to 7, so just having my distortion journey come full close with me being a winner, like that's amazing. Plus I won $14 in the auction because iconic, so I get a buff and $14. Hello, new wig probably.
Are you gonna pick the Louis buff?
I probably am gonna have to go with the Cursed Tribe buff, I feel. Never name a tribe Louis again unless you're doing Cursed Tribes. So thank you, Prod. Thank you, everyone who voted me, and just thanks for giving me a chance in this game. And Mike, I said it in my round table or whatever rites of passage. I am proud of the game you played this season, and I'm proud of everyone.
Bro.
Thank you.
Oh.
And Bryant, congratulations. Such a valiant effort this season. Played so well. Coming out of here with just 1 vote away. How are you feeling? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very proud of Jesse. I'm sad I couldn't pull it out, obviously, but I respect every single vote that was put in there. And Jesse, you played an amazing game. I was with you the whole way, so you're incredible and you earned it.
I'll touch on my thoughts. Brian, I will be real. We didn't know you well before you applied. I knew you had played Spellbound, and I knew you were going to be partnered with Tawny. No offense, Tawny. So I knew you were brave. And
Hey.
Well, speak the truth. Speak the truth.
I think that the moment I knew we made the right decision in casting you is when you sent your action shot. And like you can ask Grace, I literally spent 10 minutes cackling about it. I was like, can you just go back? Just go rewind. Just rewind that part. I was just laughing the whole time.
He sat there and I remember editing the video and he said, Grace, can you rewind this back a little bit at the end? Because you were the well, Tawny was the last action shot, but you were the one before that. He said rewind it a little bit just for your part to play again because he found so much laughter out of it.
But Brian, truly, you were, I would say, the character of the season. You played so well. You really made your mark on Distortion. I'm so thankful that Tawny convinced you to come out of your one, to make this your one game of the year. Jesse, I'm going to try not to cry on this one. As you know, you experienced on prod the original Blood versus Water disaster that we went through. And when we saw Mike's app come in and Mike put Jesse as his partner, I was like, oh, this is bullshit. Like Mike's just fucking with us. Like, and I even messaged Mike like a week later. I was like, your partner has to apply with you, right? Like, they have to fill out an app. So when you actually filled out your application, you went through the whole process. It made me warm because, like you said, season 7 ended really roughly between us, and I am so glad that you even took the chance to apply, be on this season, and you now are our winner of this season, and that is just crazy to say from like almost 2 or 3 years ago. And I think you mentioned it at the final 3 tribal council, the fact that you were able to play this season through the 4-year anniversary of this game. It just means a lot, and I'm very thankful and very proud of you in the game you played. That being said,
Can I say a couple things real quick?
yeah, Grace could say words, I guess.
Oh, be quiet.
I love you.
Okay, real quick before I get into my thoughts, who has a shot on him?
No, but I have a drink.
Okay, well, we're all gonna take a shot for Jesse winning and for Bryant also slaying and coming so close. So y'all ready? 1, 2, 3.
Where's Laura with the pickle juice?
All
my God, I nearly
right.
coughed.
Well,
Oh,
again.
it wasn't done.
Oh, sorry. All you said was to.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I want to thank you both so very much for applying and being here. You both were absolutely so amazing to host. Bryant, you always had me laughing so many times this season. So, especially with your VLDRs and with your confessionals and everything, you had me dying. And then Jesse, so it just means so much to me right now that we got to finish this season out and got a full redemption story on Blood versus Water, and we finally got to have a very good ending with this theme after what happened in season 4. And it's just the most full circle moment for me. The fact that you, out of everyone here, you're the winner, and you've been with us since the beginning. So it's just the most amazing thing, like seeing this right now. That's all I gotta say.
And with that, we have awards to get to in our little reunion. We're going to try and get the awards done as soon as possible. I know it is kind of late. So, Grace, whenever you are ready, let me give you screen sharing abilities, actually.
Yeah, I need that.
Actually, just request to share.
Okay.
It'll be easier.
Are we gonna live stream the awards?
We usually do.
Okay. Well, I know other games usually. I'm just making sure. Okay. Can we see my screen, y'all? Yeah, no, I can't see screen. I only see Seb. Let's see. Hold up. I only see Seb's right now. Everybody, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
You can see it now.
Alrighty, so we will go ahead and I'm gonna start this cute little slideshow. All right, welcome to the Distortion Survivor Season 14 Awards! Okay, let me go to the first slide. Whoever wants to present this, I don't care.
I'll do it. So we have most iconic moments. We usually, uh, I guess this says a lot about Distortion. Distortion usually only has one, iconic moment. Heatwave had like 4 different nominees, but this season, I'm very proud to say we had 2 nominees this season, and I think they were both super impactful, not only to the season, but they were just iconic. So we have Sean finding the idol, day 2 and playing it round 1 successfully, idling Jimmy out. So Sean was basically dead in the water. Got some information 30 minutes basically before tribal council and was able to literally flip his whole game around in that moment because of that one idle play. And the last time we had a winner find an idol, or not a winner, the last time we had someone in Distortion find an idol that early was the winner of season 1. So it was really fun to watch. But our second one is Bryant playing George, the Rock. He won through the auction at Final 10, and by coincidence, idling out the biggest threat left in the game at the time in X. So Grace.
I did it.
Sean finding the idol day 2 and playing it round 1. This was iconic. I said it at the final 3 tribal council. We specifically have not put out like top 10 Distortion moments because a lot of people did vote in the poll in the form for this moment. And originally I was going to, just post the video while you guys were here, but I felt like it'd be a disservice to literally one of the most iconic moments of Distortion history to leave it out. So, but that rock idol as well was really funny, and I think the lead up as well to in Brian's prod chat, like of him talking to the Rock, was really adding to this moment as well. And we are next.
I just want to add that for the idol specifically, when it comes to the first round of this game, Billy actually did some calculations, and there was a 3% chance you were able to go directly to the idol the first opportunity you got. And the way that it was day 2, Sean just goes and does his idol search and he lands immediately on it was like, it was crazy in the way that our season 1 winner got the idol with the very first moment that he was able to do it. And this idol definitely changed the trajectory of the game. This game would have turned out so differently
And I
had
also
that not happened at all.
And I also think about it too because I think I could be corrected. It was Malik who went down almost that same exact path, took one wrong turn, was not able to. The game would be completely flipped on his head if Malik was able to find that idol before Sean was. But we are here.
I
I will
also want to
say,
say, like, this round also specifically, I feel like, and I think we'll get more into this later about specifically with Sean. This really just kind of like Sean obviously was new, so was Evan, so we'll talk about that. But Sean finding Seidel and playing it kind of put like in the perspective, oh my gosh, this is actually what an org is. I have to put more effort into this with my social relationships. And I think it was kind of like this really spoke to a wake up call. And it was very fun to watch.
Yeah, fuck the mid shift.
For real.
Fuck the shit. All right, are we good to move on?
I know Sean, I know you and me.
oh, I was gonna say, I didn't do the idol search the first day. It was the second day that I did it and then found it. And I was in the tribal voice chat when I found it. Like our tribe voice chat, we were all on it. And I found it while on that call. And I was like, oh my God. But at the time I was like, I'll save this for down the road. But yes, alas, that didn't happen. But it completely changed the trajectory for sure.
All right, next up we have best move. Now, for best move and subsequently worst move, Grace, correct me if I'm wrong, we don't have any nominees. We just have the.
No.
All
That's
right.
the one thing.
So we have the
And once
best
you want me to
move.
reveal it, I'll do it.
And I think this best move, I don't think it was touched on enough by the final 2. It was touched on a little bit by Bryant, but Grace, you could reveal it. It's the maneuvering of the final six round causing Jordan to go 3-1 to 1 to 1. Now, this is just Prod's perspective. We saw Jordan as the biggest threat at the time in the game, and Jordan had just also talked to X with the jury power. So not only did he have the information from within the game, he had the information of what the jury was thinking. And there were multiple 3-2-1 plans that were pitched, multiple, unanimous votes that were cast out. But the way that the Jebs kind of, communicated with certain people throughout this round and kind of got them to, feel like the vote was going one way, was it was really funny because me and Grace were doing our live game and I'm like, okay, like Jordan's in such a good spot. Pick up phone. What is this vote count? But I think that the way that this move kind of went about, like it was perfect, and it set them up basically to become the final three, like they did. So
There's
This
really no notes on this. It's just kind of Seb kind of explained it really what it was. It was just really good positioning and honestly kind of didn't make the end game boring, but very much just said, "Hey, this is what it is."
This stressed me out so much. The last hour was insane. And we joked about what if it's a 3-1-1-1? That would be crazy. And
We sure did. We sure did.
This is also the round where me, Jesse, and Miner created Project Hail Mary. So it was just everything played out so perfectly for this move.
Not for me.
I'm sorry.
It was a Hail Mary for me.
All right, but with a best move, we have a worst move. And the worst move, I will say.
Wait, Billy wanted to do this.
Billy wanted to do it? Okay, Billy, go right ahead. This is
normally worst moves are pretty late in the game. People usually make mistakes in the end game that can kind of like change the whole trajectory of the season. Basically, getting rid of the threat at the wrong time, dragging a goat a little too far. Not this season. This worst move came very, very, very early on, and honestly, it was kind of shocking to see because like it basically kind of set up the path of just what orgs are about. And I'll explain that as soon as it gets revealed.
You want me to reveal it?
Yeah. The time that like you guys did not utilize this twist at any for no reason. Like we can literally talk about this. Like the whole twist was basically, and this is what really frustrated me because like when I told you that you guys get 7 votes, right? Instinctively, the first thing you should think of is, if they're only giving us 7 votes, they're not going to give us just 1 vote at every tribal council. So maybe we should save some for like later on. No, everyone just thought, okay, well, it has to be 7 pre-merge rounds. It has to be. Like everyone's like, I have to vote, or I have to vote 3 times at a tribal I'm not even in danger at. It was just like it. You guys could have used it for so much more than what it came down to. You guys just really didn't utilize your tribe mates. You guys just very solo played this twist, and that's cool. But it was just very much, it resulted in a lot of people's going home because they didn't have votes towards the end and didn't have the capability to save themselves. Or even people who were like, they knew they were going home, but still only played 1 vote when they could have just played multiple votes to save themselves. Yeah, that, Tony. Basically, just everyone voting at like there were I think 18 votes at Kendra's tribal for no real specific reason when everyone was already voting out
13 votes.
Yeah, but I was over exaggerating a little bit. But yeah, there was just a ton of votes for like no reason. And it kind of screwed over people later on.
And it was just like the reactions that so many things change. Like so many things change if like this was just a single vote pre-merge. Like I think about the 10-3 against Kendra And the fact that there were literally 10 votes on Kendra when there needed to be 4. Like, or I think about the Tawny vote and the fact that, and this will be, and this was, I don't know if this has been public yet, Laura placing 4 votes on Tawny and those being the only votes on Tawny for her to go. So then we have votes like that. We have votes like the Cameron vote that was 3-0 because Tyler and Cameron had used all their votes prior to that tribal council. And so there were no votes at all for Cameron to use to even rebat himself. And it's just like there's so many votes this season that just like I sat there and I went and I truly believed, and it was so funny. And it was so funny because we were like, oh my God, like Sean and Evan are so new and they feel like the only people who are utilizing this twist correctly because they banked almost every single vote, like up until I think probably like
They voted the Kendra round.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
there's
I was hoping y'all would take some more risks. But it's not like like, and when I say like this is the worst move, there wasn't really specifically anybody who made bad moves. Like that's kind of why like the worst move is kind of hard to find this season because like when we looked at every scenario, like even going to 6, like Jordan going home and no one voting together, it wasn't necessarily a bad move on like Mike and Minor not to get Jordan and vote together. It just was never going to happen because you guys didn't trust each other. So it's like it's just at that point like whatever. I can't say it was a bad move for like Brian to go to 3 with the Jebs, knowing that he needed to win immunity because and to go with Minor, but like it was because like no matter what, Brian still got here. So like there's no real like bad decisions to be made. It was just very much in the moment. Like everyone had proper justification for their moves, especially in the merge.
I also just want to add on this for a second with the worst move. What made it really interesting from my perspective was the fact that people would talk about the votes in their alliance chats and then just completely ignore whatever they said in that and just throw votes to the wind about the amount they're doing when if y'all talked about like how many votes you want to use as a collective alliance, you would have had a lot more votes left remaining. So it was really funny.
We really did think after like 4 rounds there were going to be multiple duos without votes. Going
For
into
a
those
second
last few
there, it was
tribals.
looking rough.
oh yeah. Especially the last like the second swap with y'all. Like we were like, oh, some of y'all are done for. But next up we have
Wait, give me a sec.
Fred.
Oh, sorry, I was doing something. I wanted to touch on this too. I wanted to say, have a comment real quick. Did y'all really think when we said some of you guys have played our game before, and some of you were new? The people, especially who have played before, did y'all think we were going to be that nice to you and guarantee you a vote every single tribal council in the pre-merge?
Oh no,
Yeah,
I expected
you're
y'all to
wrong.
be bothered.
You're wrong. All right, moving on.
Right, next up.
Who's doing here?
One of y'all, I'll do it if not.
I can do it.
Oh, Timmy's hero here.
Yeah. And that's not true, but I do love talking about heroes because it's fun. So our nominees are Evan, Jesse, and Minor. All 3 of you came into this game putting your best foot forward. And while all 3 of you focused a lot on your strategies, it was always in a heroic way in which you, how do I want to word this? Made sure that you always spoke with respect to who you were talking to and about who you were talking to. And that comes mainly in also respect as a player, but respect as a person as well. But because you're allowed to be able to be vindictive against people, vote people out, be like, I want to target this person. But you did it in a heroic way where people still liked you afterwards. And that says a lot about a hero. And with that being said, our hero of the season is I get to talk about my husband. That's the hero. It's me talking about Minor. No, the hero is Minor. The amount of times Minor has won hero of the season in a game is truly an enormous amount just because of the way you always are able to make sure everyone feels the love that you give to them with your soul and just the way you're able to make those connections so genuinely and real. and it goes a long way. Even when you were fighting to stay at that last trouble you went to, so Final Five, we're going to everyone doing everything. Everyone still had good things to say about you. Even you and Bryant were just talking about life at that point, and you were able to find at least a common ground, which was really nice to see. So congratulations, you are the hero of the season.
And I like think about this, like there were so many elements, like Minor, I think like like you are the hero. Like I feel like you are one of the kindest people in this community. And like I think about there were people specifically in the VIP viewers at the final five being like Minor could slit your throat, but because he's so kind with it and he's so so friendly forward with it, like then you're like, "Oh, I love Minor." Like how could you ever hate Minor? And then I also think about during touchy subjects, like an hour before we get on call with Prod, and Timmy's like, Minor knows he's getting hero, but he's probably not going to vote himself for getting hero.
I sure
And
did say that.
and then you did vote for yourself to get hero. And that's where we're at now. I don't know. Minor, you're sweet. I could literally talk for hours about how sweet you are, so I'm just gonna shut up.
I just think it's more about like with Minor. Like I think it's also we gotta just mostly. I'm not gonna speak on the personal side. I don't try when I like think about it here. I don't talk about the personal side. I talk about the gameplay. It's just every round, like the last like 4 or 5 rounds, whoever you put at like literally number one of your trust rankings just went home every round, and you really were just like, okay, well I'm gonna find a new number one, and then they would go home, and it's just like, okay, well I'm tired of people aren't being loyal to me. I'm trying to be loyal to people, and it just kind of just came out just like on the bad end of things.
I'll say is Minor is literally one of the purest people that I know. And also seeing him in any org setting, he always has such a heart when he is playing these games and just seeing his story this season, he definitely has proven that hero that he always had carries with him.
Right. Well, there's a hero. There has to be a villain. Grace.
What?
Oh, sorry. My thing wasn't loaded. All right.
Do you
So
want
here,
you want to do villain?
did you do well, you did hero, right?
No, I didn't do
No,
So
hero.
Timmy
did
did
you want to
hero.
no, then you do villain, Billy. I know you're a
Cool.
villain, so
So anytime we play orgs or anybody who's ever played an org with me knows that I'm the biggest hero ever, right?
of
No,
course.
I'm a villain. Um, I like playing as a villain, someone who's willing to cut ties. It doesn't even have to be like a personal villain. It's just literally someone who literally just turns the tides and just does what they think is best, regardless of how people may feel about it. So, yeah, I don't think we had too many over the top villains, but we had some very interesting villains this season. So, yeah,
Want me to reveal?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, reveal.
And that would be Bryant. Bryant was very willing to do a lot of different things this season. He knows it what it is. I'll let Seb go more into it.
Yeah, I mean, Bryant, like I feel like and you'll be able to see the VLDRs. Bryant wrote a lot of them this season and they were very in depth. So if you need to see Bryant's game, you'll be able to read it back. Bryant very much tried to keep doors open while also simultaneously shutting them all before he walked in. Um, and Bryant very much was like, usually when I think of villain, I think about like the personality and I think about like constant and I think about like just someone who like presents themselves as a villain, but Bryant very much did not present himself as a villain this season with the way he presented himself in the alliance, in the way he talked to people. It's just the actions, the lots of lying this season, lots of strategical backstabbing, a lot of like telling people, as you mentioned in your final speech, a lot of telling people right up until the last minute, yeah, you're fine with me. Yeah, we're definitely going this direction. Yeah, we're definitely doing this. Um, and it it wasn't like the super villain that like everyone expects when they play these orgs, but it was just enough where like to differentiate from the other two noms, you definitely I like this comparison because this is how I play sometimes. It's very much like Lotso from Toy Story 3, where like they appear very nice, and then like halfway through the movie they're like, "What are you gonna do to help us, Lotso?" And you're like, "Nothing." Shuts door. um, but if anyone else wants to touch on that.
I think you said it perfectly.
All right. Well, then
Yes.
up next is da 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 da. Most robbed preacher. Now, there were a lot of you. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably the biggest pre-jury that we've had with 9 people. And my God, some of you were robbed, and a lot of you, I honestly, I think all of you were robbed in one way or another because of the twist and the mismanagement of it. But I think that we usually have 3 noms, and we decided to have 4. And I think these 4 people, specifically at one point in the game, were in a fantastic spot, and or maybe not in a fantastic spot, but um, just the way that the cookie crumbled the round they left or leading up, they were robbed. So with that, most robbed preacher is Kendra. Now, Kendra, we were trying to listen. The round that Kendra left, it took everything in me to not be like, you are like you are one of the most sought out people I want for a future season. Like we talked about with the mismanagement of the twist, like the fact that you had 10 votes on you, that is the definition of overkill. And the fact is, you were in a really good position until like Bryant and Hot Girl Chris got together and they said, okay, like this is it. This is the vote. And I know in your prod chat, you were very much after this vote being like, what did I do wrong? And to that, I say, kind of nothing. You kind of
You were just
did
viewed as a threat, and that's what it is. It's just like at that point they just had to pick a target, and they didn't want to go after one of the more obvious votes at that point. But it was very
because
like a lot of this, and truthfully, comes from Chris just kind of just doing their big one, and that's just spreading misinformation throughout the tribe.
And well, it's funny because Benji almost went home that round up until like 2 or 3 hours prior.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until Chris was like, no, I just don't want this. And it kind like Chris did their thing. Like Chris pushed so hard, like kind of like, oh my God, why are they not being targeted next kind of hard for this? And like I said, like with the 10-3 was crazy. It
I think
like
this was
really
also the beginning of the end of Chris's game as well,
yeah.
because basically this what solidified Chris as big target number one, because they were like, okay, well, how did Chris get 10 votes on Kendra when Kendra was universally liked throughout the tribe? So it was
Yeah.
very much like, or it basically shifted perspective, if that makes sense. And Kendra, you're asking a shit ton of questions in your project, being like, "What did I do? I need answers." And I'm like, "Well, I can give you answers later, and you'll like your answers, but you just have to wait." So I hope this is satisfying.
Uh, Kendra, literally Kendra, like starting from the OG tribe and even like positioning wise into this swap tribe. I honestly thought I knew that Sean and Jesse were gonna get in good because they swapped with Evan. You got Sean and Evan, and you got Jesse attached to Sean. I thought that you were going to be the most good out of between you, Benji, and Tyler. Because I remember y'all went to tribal. I literally thought Benji or Tyler was leaving at that tribal council. And the way Chris was like, because Chris did get a closer relationship with Benji and Tyler. And the way he was like, no, that's not going to happen at all. And then that led to everybody else also doing the same thing as well. But yeah, you didn't. You were just a threat to, from what it looked. You didn't do anything in particular for this to happen to you or to cause this. Anybody else have anything to add on before I move on?
All right. Well, with
Got
most
it.
robbed pre-juror, we got most robbed juror. Now, these are the people that we felt were kind of in a position to potentially go further, or if their vote out went any differently, kind of the trajectory of the game changes. So we have Hot Girl Chris, we have X, and we have Tyler. And I want to say that this will be shocking for you guys, but Grace is just going to click the slides so I can move on.
I specifically changed the animation for this award. You'll see it because y'all know how it's been going one by one. Oh no, I think this should be a blatant, obvious fucking award, just to be so real. There you go.
Way to
X,
spoil it.
yeah, I think first of all, like I mentioned at that tribal council, the advantage that Bryant played was an advantage I've been trying to get into. You can ask Billy and Grace, and you can even ask Jesse. She was on prod. This is an advantage that I was so proud of when I came up with, and I tried to get it in quite literally almost every season since, and it's either not been able to be placed in the season, or in the seasons it had been in, uh like season 7 it was never found. In season 12 Topher got voted out with it. So we are now sitting here with the first successful Rock Idol play, and the we a lot luck was talked about a lot tonight, and the fact that literally the biggest threat in the game at the time, probably X, we talked a lot about your game last season being impressive. You did so much and more in the little time that you were in this game. Probably played even better than you did last season in the little time, in the time the pre-merge and the 2 rounds you were in this game. Like you had, I I think about specifically as well. Right after your vote,
I was
four
going to
set.
talk about that. I was going to talk about
We
that one,
talk about
Seb.
that. I just think it's so
There,
impressive.
there were four, after a rock out, we have never seen four individuals go to their production chat, basically being like, I don't want to play anymore. I just lost my number one. You had Miner, you had Jordan, you had Laura, and I forget the fourth person, but there were
It
I
was
four.
think
Mike.
it was Mike.
Mike, yeah. We had all four of them basically went to their project within the span of an hour of after rocks, and they said, oh, I just lost my number one. I really got to resituate how I play this game. I know they had my back. I was taking them to the end. Like, pretty much like X was in very firm control of how this tribe would have went moving forward. Um, but don't get me wrong, people were starting to clock X was running a lot of shit. I don't think X would have made it to the end, but you would have made a pretty good finale run.
I honestly think X gets the same placement he got last season. He
Yeah.
gets 5th.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can see that. The trajectory, this here, X leaving literally changed the game up so much. I feel like because Bryant, say if that didn't exist, Bryant would have gone home that night, and I'm pretty sure Sean would have gone the next round. And then from there, I feel like we would have definitely, because of X being there, we would have had a very, very different end game, a very different live night. Everything would have gone very differently. And I feel like X would have been spearheading so much of that. But I agree. I think he would have gotten the similar placement, but you still would have made a deep, deep run because you had a lot of people trusting you on such a high level. And and I will say this, you will see that in the trust rankings when we post them, when we put them posted.
Yeah, there were multiple times where we had 2 opportunities this season where a player ranked 1 on the tribe for trust rankings. Like literally like every person in the tribe put them as the most trusted. It was X on the pre-merge tribe right
And
before
then
merge, and then Jesse at Final Four.
no, well technically Sean got 1 at Final 3. Everyone ranked Sean number
Well,
1.
okay, well
I
Final 3.
I know, I'm just saying. Okay.
But no. What I'm saying is in terms of where rounds where there's more than 2 people putting in trust rankings or 3, whatever. Yeah, there were 2 rounds in that. That was Jessie at 4, where she had all 3 players rank her at 1, And then X, I think, had four people because I think it was like the Evan, X, Jordan, Laura, and Mike all put him at one. So that was very fun to see.
Yeah.
Can I actually add to
Well,
that for a second?
yeah.
It was actually Jesse at final five, which is even wilder. Like,
Okay,
not even
yeah, my
big. I'm just like the level of impressiveness on that is just like,
yeah, I think you'll some of y'all are gonna be kind of surprised at just rankings, and you're not gonna be happy about it.
oh,
I'm
y'all gonna be
sorry.
real shook.
All right. Well, the next award, Grace, reveal it to us, is the underdog of the season. Now, underdogs, y'all clawed, y'all fought, like y'all really did your shit. Like there were multiple times, especially in the first round of the merge, where these three names came up or were discussed in one way or another, and you guys were able to not only successfully get the target off of yourselves, but kind of like get to a point where like the only reason you left was by circumstance or literal unanimous votes. Um, so we have Tyler, we have Minor, and we have Laura. And the underdog of the season is Tyler. And I think Tyler's comes from a place of literally uh not only an underdog in the merge tribe, but an underdog in a lot of the early game as well, and an underdog against his own partner. Like we talk about, we'll go a little more into this after the awards. There were a lot of duos this season who could not find their footing together. And ultimately led to a lot of disaster with communication. And Tyler and Cameron were the first duo to do this. And they literally, the minute the leave vote happened, like Cameron and Tyler started fighting each other like hardcore. Like they did, like Tyler did not like that decision from Cameron's end and how he used extra votes to vote out an ally of his. And it literally went downhill to the point, like as mentioned, Cameron had 0 votes to defend himself the round he left. And Tyler came into the merge with allies like Benji and allies like Laura. And Benji left at that final 9 tribal council, and with the wrong HOH, Tyler unfortunately was voted out unanimously. But like Tyler, you fought hard, and especially for your first Discord game, like this was something we were very impressed watching your game, and we'll talk about it later as well. You were just really enjoyable, and I think that really worked in your favor as an underdog.
I also think this is kind of poetic in a way, considering your biggest rivalry in the game is against the person who ended up winning. In terms of like, just y'all would go into your fraud chats and just be like, "Yeah, I'm not talking to them. We don't talk."
And I will say this too, Tyler, your name, if I will say this, like if Mac didn't walk that round and Lou went back to tribal council, I think you were going home.
Yeah.
At that tribal. And you were probably the person going, and the fact you were able to avoid leaving in the swap tribe when you were in trouble, and then you were able to make it within a couple rounds of the merge, and had your biggest rival not won the HOH, I feel like if a different scenario happened, you would have made it out of that live night. Okay, are we good?
All right, next up, da 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 da. Best alliance. Now, we think about the alliances in this season, and we think about like what what defined as an alliance. Y'all made so many 3 chats. Y'all made so many like 3 chats, 4 chats, like, and it felt like these were all used at literally like one point in like one round, and then they were like completely discarded. I do want to give a shout out because I feel like it should be mentioned here. Project Hail Mary was another alliance that was in consideration for nominee. But we have the Royal Flush, we have Stardew Villains, and we have Jebs United. And the winner is Jebs United.
Shocker.
And this was the most, and it was mentioned during FTC, this was the most dominant alliance of the season. They did lose Evan pretty early on and growing right into merge, and it looked like they were um in a position where potentially after Chris left, it could have been the three of them going in a row. But I think that the three of them had really good social standings with certain individuals and The Rock to help them completely flip the game on its head. And like we mentioned before, with the best move, once they maneuvered that 3-1 to 1-1 vote, they were basically in a position that if the three of them agreed to, they could have made the final. They could have made that final three, and they did. And yeah, I don't know. It was just really impressing.
Y'all
Yeah, I mean,
oh, go ahead, Billy.
the other pre-merge idol, we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, Jebs. Just truthfully, I think the only alliance that lasted more than 4 rounds. Like in actual sincerity, there would be random chats that Mike would just talk in that hadn't been talked in like 2 weeks, but that's about it in terms of just like actual alliances that actually made sense for a little while.
Shout
Yeah,
out
I was
to
gonna say y'all really like even though Evan got cut short, the three of you still did talk in there and y'all carried and were able to get yourselves to that final three and were able to always and no matter what, even if there was like a bit of times that I know like Sean and Jesse were questioning, should I take Brian out? And then Brian like, should I take them out? You guys still ultimately did come together and continued staying strong with one another to get to the final three together.
All right,
All right.
next up with Best Alliance. Now, this season, if the next word, we have the best duo pair. So we're gonna get into best duo of the season, but we do want to specifically refer to the best duos. So you guys came into this game as a pair. You guys, whether you and your partner lasted super long or not, you guys really showed you really embraced the first half of the twist, which was being able to talk to your partner during challenge days. Because there were some people who were getting on calls and there were some people who were getting through text, but I feel like, these duos really either implemented the twist or in Jesse and Mike's case, were able to be the last duo standing in the game. So the best duo pair was the Royal Court of Princess Donut. Now, I really want to specify this, okay? So, Bryant and Tawny had really good dynamic right off the interview. Tawny, as mentioned in her goodbye, I said someone we wanted to host almost every time we've had a returnee season. So, Tawny bringing Bryant into the distortion world, it was a really interesting dynamic. But what I think really pushes this over the edge is Bryant all season in their duo chat trying to quote unquote resurrect Tawny. So Bryant would go in there every couple days and be like, "Hey Tawny, it's me, Bryant. I know you're probably wondering what's happening right now. And I just wanted to let you know that I would have voted you out, but that's not the point here. Apparently, Prod won't let me resurrect you, and that's okay. I think I'm doing well in this game. I'll talk to you soon, Tawny. So,
Can I
on
read like
top,
can I read like an can I
yeah,
read the
read it,
last
read it.
manuscript that was from today?
Did you
Is I
find it?
like Wilson?
Oh, go
You
ahead
were like
before.
Wilson, yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much it says,
Hi.
"Hi Tawny, it's me, Bryant. Do you even remember me at this point? It's been 8 long years. Has Texas seceded yet? Probably not. Beyonce wouldn't allow it. I made it to final tribal. Isn't that crazy? I feel like you'd vote for me or not, but we'll never know because, well, you got voted out pre-merge. But thanks for bringing me into this game. Sorry I couldn't resurrect you. Apparently, Prod frowns upon summoning ancient deities that could wreak havoc upon the space-time continuum, destroying all that we love for generations, resulting in a rebuilt society that is likely run by possums in the year 2682. So they're boring, basically, but we'll be a cult one day. Anyway, is it still humid in Texas? Well, bye, forever and ever. And then he sent a gif of forever.
No,
So basically, this was every round essentially that Bryant would send like a manuscript of that, and honestly,
It was
Tony,
like poetry. It was
Tony,
seriously, it was like poetry.
Please let
Tony,
me
I'm gonna
back in
add
that
you
chat.
back to this
I
chat.
thought you all hated it.
No,
No, it
We
was
No, it was
loved
funny.
it was
it.
so entertaining.
And
And you were the
actually,
only.
that is part of the reason that you won the best duo is because of you without Tawny.
Oh, if
Because
you
we
just
were
Thanks.
dying because it was so funny.
Well, it was so funny because like both of you would be like in your duo chat even before Tawny was voted out,
Oh yeah.
being like, oh
Tony, I
yeah,
just
this
added you back if you want to read it
like you
back.
guys like had such a good connection like coming into the game, and then
Yes.
but both of you and your prod chats being like Bryant the whole season or the whole time Tawny was in the game being like Tawny won't let me remember that I was part of her demise or she was part of my demise or something like that, and Tawny being like, yeah, I mean Bryant could stay in as long as I allow it, like there's stuff like that. Like it was really fun. Like your dynamic in the chat was really funny, and your dynamic in your prod chats. But I think, like I said, what brought it over was the fact that Bryant kept your memory alive, whereas other duos, when their duos were voted out, that chat was dead. um,
Yeah.
even
The only
even
other
duos,
person who did, and the only other person who did anything like that was X with Jimmy.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Jimmy.
and even duos that were still in the game, like Jesse and Mike, their chats were dead. So
Oh, should have just kept me in there.
I just added you back.
I know, I'm
Yeah.
reading. I'm catching
I-
up.
I really think it's a shame that everyone didn't try to resurrect their partner because that could have been a twist, and you didn't.
You didn't hire an Etsy witch. That was your
You didn't
problem.
get a chance to.
Here's the thing.
No, I tried
Here's
to
the
hire
thing.
an Etsy witch, but I was told I would get a strike.
oh, we
Here's
did
the
tell
thing.
listen.
I've never
Bryant.
gotten a strike. I'm not gonna get a strike.
Here's
I'm
the
gonna
thing.
strike you.
I will say that there were more duos who wanted the other partner out this season and duos who wanted to actively bring them back into the game.
I will say, we did think about having a worst duo pair award, for the duos who just decided that their partners did not mean shit to them, or they were so far ahead of, or so far away from each other strategically that there was no redeeming, like Brian or like Jordan and Benji, love you too. Like Mike and Jesse at certain points in this game, love you too.
Tyler.
Like Tyler and Cameron, love you too. Like even Lee and Hot Girl Chris at certain points in the pre-merge, like a lot of their fights were like bicker and joking, but like there were some times where like Lee was like, oh, Hot Girl Chris didn't tell me this. Oh, Hot Girl Chris didn't tell me that. Like it was really funny. But
Yeah.
with best duo pair comes the regular award that we usually give out, which is
The not
best
pairs.
not pairs. So these are the people who, yes, you had a connection, or yes, you came into the game with a connection, but these people really found joy in working with the others, that they interacted with on their OG swap, second swap, merge tribe. So the nominees are Benji and Tyler, Jesse and Sean, and Jordan and X. And the winner of Best Duo Non-Pair is Jesse and Sean. So there were multiple people who came to Sean in the first round regarding his vote, but Jesse, I think, if I'm correct, was the first person to go to Sean about said vote, and it locked them in. They were able to get through every swap together and the Jebs were formed at that point. It was Jesse. I think Malik, you were the first person to mention it in your prod chat that
It
you were
was
gonna do.
Malik.
Oh,
It
it
was
was?
No,
Malik.
I was
It
about to say that
was.
it was Malik.
I do remember Malik was the first person to bring it up in his prod chat that he was gonna let him know.
I think
But
they
I
called it
couldn't.
out right after.
Okay.
It was Malik, then it was Jesse, then it was Lee.
Yeah.
I will say that.
When it was like pretty much quick succession too.
And the
If I
funny
remember
part is all
correctly.
three of you thought you were the only ones.
Mhm.
And
And I was happy to let them believe that.
And I totally off topic for like I just remember like all caps Lee in their prod chat being like, "Oh my God, I saved Sean, I saved Sean." But anyways, these two were together literally the whole game. There were certain points that we sat in the prod chat and were like, if there's a point where Sean has to make a decision between Evan and Jesse, we were kind of convinced that he would choose Jesse.
He
Like,
would have. I will confirm that he would have.
Like there were like we were sitting there like we were like, yep, this is it. Like Jesse and Sean end game. And as the rounds just kept going and Jebs moved closer and closer, we were like, oh my God, this is gonna happen. Like round one duo is going to make the final two. And that happened only once in, if I can remember correctly, and that was in season 5 with LJ and Tyler. They had made their duo right off the bat. They got to the final three. And so when you guys were this close um to getting two final tribal together. Unfortunately, Sean and Jesse were not able to win that challenge and decide that fate. But you guys just showed total interest and excitement, not only about the game, but about this duo in general. And we are just so glad that you guys found this friendship together in the game, because that's what these games are for. So
I just want to add,
Jesse, I love you, Jesse, so much.
Go ahead, Timmy.
I think preseason, just because I've known Jesse for many, many years, and just seeing Sean's personality in like intro video and everything, I don't think I ever would have pegged this pair. And it is probably one of my most favorite pairs I've ever seen in an Ord, because the way you bounce ideas off of each other, and found not common ground because you always had common ground, but like consensus in what you want to do, and that it always worked for both of you. It was just really pure and also insanely strategic and impressive to see.
Well, it's funny too
Probably,
because
probably the funniest part about this is that literally going into the merge, the first talking point of the merge was, okay, well, just letting you know, Jesse and Sean, they're like this. They're going to go to the end of each other 100%. It was the talk of the town for like the first like 24 hours of the merge. And then everyone just conveniently decided to forget about it, just move off of it. Didn't even vote for them, considering Jesse got 0 votes in the merge phase and
I think Sean
Sean got
got
one.
one. Yeah.
And it was at the end.
And I think,
Yeah.
and going back to Timmy's point, like we were like sitting in the prod chat, like as we're doing the casting and we're setting everything up, and we were like, "Oh, Sean's gonna work with Benji 100%." Like that's just
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
That's the duo. And then when y'all just like did not talk really at all, we were like, "Oh, so this is the direction."
Yeah, y'all's
Yeah.
pair, like, see, after the aftermath of the first rounds with that idol play and seeing, because Sean was kind of the place where he felt he couldn't trust like barely anybody on that tribe because of what it almost happened to him. And seeing, and literally immediately Sean telling Jesse, like, you're my girl in this game, like on a call, like I'm gonna stick with you. And the fact that that kept still going and going every single round, you two never broke trust with each other, and you two always stayed strong throughout this whole entire game until you guys couldn't make it to the end together. But y'all were a very powerful duo though together.
I will say, and Brian did bring this up, but like I want to move on to the next thing next after I say this. Reason why people stopped targeting Jebs as a thing was because everyone inside Jebs had their own individual relationships with people that like actively prevented people from voting. So like for example, Mike said, Mike was close with Jesse. Obviously, they were a duo. Jesse was like, "You're not going to vote for Sean. You're not going to vote for Brian. It's not happening. Sorry." Then also at the same time, Minor and Jesse also had a close relationship in the game. Minor also had a good relationship with Sean, and at that point, even though Brian and Minor weren't on the same page, they were not. Minor was never going after Sean or Jesse at that point.
Just to piggyback off that, I think of like a specific conversation about like that X had in one of his alliance chats, and he's like, "Hey guys, I think we have Mike's vote to vote out Bryant. Like this is gonna be it. Like this was the round of the rocks." So he's like, "We got like 5 minutes later. Never mind. Mike just wants to do whatever Jesse wants to do. So I guess we're not voting Bryant."
But yeah,
That's
let's
Yeah,
move on to the next
exactly what
one.
Mike said.
off the
Next
majority.
Yep.
one we have without duo, or you have your close and bestie duos, but there's an opposite to that.
Oh, we have best rivalry. Now we think about like rivalries in this season, and I would like to say like a lot of these rivalries were quiet. I think I my one of my favorite quotes this season comes from Tyler, and it's can you call it? Or I don't remember the exact quote, but it's like, can you call it a rivalry if there's no conversation? And I feel like for two of these duos, it was lack of conversation and then for Benji Jordan, like I just think that like they were on so different sides that they took the idea of duo literally. So every time they tried to like work together on a vote, it just did not work and it would cause frustration with both sides but ultimately, when I think about best rivalry, we got to go with the best rivalry. So, best rivalry this season is Jesse and Tyler. Now, I know Tyler says, there's no rivalry without communication, but no, these two were literally, I think, since day one, or no, probably like the second tribal, the Malik tribal. Jesse was throwing Tyler's name out, Tyler was throwing Jesse's name out, and the rest was history. And like, because of the lack of communication, neither of them were like, "Hey, by the way, I'm voting you. Hey, by the way, I'm pushing your name." So they would just sit there and like go to other people, like, and they just would not like. They would be like, "Okay, so we're just gonna do." Like I think about specifically Jesse during Billy's Big Brother and Mike like being like, "Would you do anyone else?" And she's like, "No, Tyler's keeps pushing my name. Why am I gonna do someone else?" Like, um, but I think it's very interesting this rivalry because, like I said, there was no like fighting because there was no communication to have a fight. Like, really, the closest to a fight we got was Tyler fighting Mike because of you at the live night. So
You guys were never, ever,
I will,
ever. There was no chance in the world. At least, well, I feel with like other people, like there is gonna be a way to work around. I feel you two, it was never happening at all because you guys communication wise, y'all were just not there with each other. And the fact you both would vent about each other too in your prod chats a lot.
it got to the point where Jesse started putting in her trust rankings the Tyler zone, and it would just be like basically you would have to scroll down to get to Tyler's name on the trust rankings because she would space it out as much. Um, but it was kind of funny because like if we're talking about like actual rivalries, we can't even talk about the biggest rivalry wasn't even in the game. It was the pre-jury chat just consistently fighting with each other. And whether it was Kendra and Evan, Lee with everybody once Lee got added, um, pretty much just like everyone was just fighting with each other. Yeah, that was probably the most active pre-jury chat I've ever seen in my life. And honestly, once it gets purged, I'll be happy.
I promise you that season 13's pre-jury chat was like one comment from them when they got voted out and then they shut up. Like in this
Yeah,
season, which I'm very thankful for. I'm not complaining because I love when y'all are like active in the game, but the pre-jurors were definitely like keeping up. They had their own conspiracies on what was happening during the
Oh, the reads
season.
were terrible.
Lots of them were bad.
oh yeah.
But they were
We don't need to
raids.
talk about that.
Oh, not at all.
I think my favorite read from the season was I'm not going to name names, but a specific someone in the pre-jury said, "I think these three people could win," and it was final four, and I'm like, okay, well, that's 75% of the cast.
No, it was like
It's
final six when that happened.
Catch me.
I
No, it
was
was
about to
final
ask if
four.
that was the
It
name
was
they
final
left
four,
out.
and catch me later, and I will tell you.
And
It was
I literally
four.
and I will I'm pretty sure like I would have to go through the logs, but I really don't want to. I'm pretty sure the pre-jury talked more than the jury chat
Yes.
talked this
They did.
season.
hands
by
down.
far. And
Yeah,
that does not happen.
This was the most active pre-jury I have ever seen.
Y'all were some nosy
ever.
motherfuckers.
Even during the finale tonight, guys, there were more people talking in pre-jury than were talking in jury. Like it was.
Yeah, jury was on call. So
Jury,
that's
they
like
were on.
fair.
Well, they were on VC.
Jury was locked in. We
That's a
needed
jury
the
was locked the fuck in.
info.
I was so
Yeah.
locked in. I wasn't talking.
It was so funny though because like I feel like Evan can give a unique circumstance considering they were in both the pre-jury chat.
Yeah, I can't lie. I probably would have fought with Kendra just a little more if I stayed in that chat. So I was kind of glad I got switched over to the jury. But no, it's all love now. It's all love. Sorry, Kendra. Sorry, Kendra. I was just rage baiting you just a little bit. I do get defensive about you don't need to wish anybody to burn.
We're gonna move on before this
What's
starts
the
into
next
something.
award?
We're moving on.
Best project.
So y'all talked a lot, or some of y'all talked a lot, some of y'all talked a little. There was no in between. Like there was no normal
Yeah.
prod chats this season. There were just people who just Mike, I'm not even gonna answer that question. Whether it was from, like I said, Bryant, like with his very long and detailed, by the way, VLDRs, which you can all go back and read once y'all are added back and you have your roles, or Mike in his constant conversations about shit and his conversation with his prod chat, and I say shit like literally,
Yeah,
or
literally.
Tyler
When I say that was strategic.
Also with
No.
Tyler, his project guest, Noah Hammerman and Julia. And I think about specifically, well, we'll get into the winner, but I think specifically Tyler trying to convince his project guest that sending a fake advantage to people was smart. And his project guest was like, yeah, no, stop that.
I was really hoping it would too because it looks
I
nothing
really-
like any of the distortion
Oh,
graphics
no,
I've
I
ever
forgot
made.
about that.
But the best prod chat this season is
Real quick, I also want to shout Kathy out in Mike's chat because she kept a lot of the entertainment going too. All right. Anyways, moving on.
It's Bryant. Brian, like I said, I think about the way I compare your prod chat is to X's from last season, where X would send these like 13 to 18-minute voice confessionals and Scripty would translate them all. You just did that, but like a normal person. So it was very easy to read, and you gave the viewers are very invested in your game because of your VLDRs, and so were we because at least we were able to like fully see your game and fully see it all. Like, and I think that like, love you, X. And I don't know, it was very interesting to see your game through the roller coaster, and also you threatening to sue us the last 3 rounds of the game, like.
Yeah. So let's just like run it back real quick. When you go back and look at like VLDRs and stuff like that, there's going to be 3 things that you're going to see. The first one is going to see Bryant actually talking about the game and actually like discussing his thoughts. The second one, you're going to see Miner comparing everyone in the cast to music in a specific album. Those are pretty cool. And then you're going to have Mike's inside jokes that you're not going to understand, but it's okay. They'll make sense to Mike. And those were our VLDRs for the season. But no, genuinely, Bryant, you detailed your game so well, and I was really happy about that because just no shade to the rest of the cast, y'all did not confess shit. Like it
I
got
will
to a
say
certain point.
Benji. I will give credit to Benji because Benji did do a couple live confessionals, and we did get.
I'm mostly speaking about.
Too, so.
I'm not saying do VLDRs for your game. I don't ever recommend that because VLs are crazy, scary. I would never do that. But I'm saying like just giving your general thoughts about like what's happening. There were not a lot of people who were giving their actual thoughts, and I felt like I had to pull teeth sometimes going to chats being like, "So, what do you mean by this?" Because they would send like one blurb of unprompted information. I'd be like, "Okay, so what do you mean?" And then they would not get an answer, and I'm like, "Okay, cool. So I'll figure it out in your chats then."
And honestly, I really appreciated the people who were very honest. Like Jesse was like, "Yeah, I just don't talk in here. I'm sorry." But that being said, our next award is.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, what's up?
Did anyone try to catch a bird with a scone?
I wish I understood the reference.
Oh, I mentioned in my prod chat, I kept talking about a bird with a scone. Clearly, you weren't paying enough attention, but
I'm so sorry, but at the same time, I read through your actual game thoughts, and then I thought you were doing more inside jokes I didn't understand.
Can I draw attention to one of my inside jokes real quick?
No. Okay,
Oh.
physical pots. All right, so as we all know, I am obviously the most athletic member of Prod. Is what I say when I create these terrible endurance comps for you guys and then don't ever participate in them because I never will. But we had three strong competitors this season. We had Jesse, who although was only able to win the one comp in touchy subjects, had really strong we had really strong standings in a lot of the end game comps, especially in both endurance comps and in tipsy turvy. Both did really well. Obviously, Bryant had won his multiple of challenges, and Mike won a lot of early game comps and was able to take greed, which a lot of people don't consider a comp win, but I do because it requires something. But our physical pots is it's not shocked. It's Brian. Brian, you actually dominated. You are in a special elite club of 4+ immunity winners in Distortion Survivor. Our record is 7. Shout out Adam. But you had absolutely dominated the end game with your comps, and on top of that, your veto win, and your other comp as well. You really did super well this season regarding comps, and it's funny because both you and Tawny were in their pro chats being like, "I don't win comps," and then Tawny's like, I think Tawny brought up that you lost an endurance comp in a previous game to someone without a leg. Is that
With
correct?
a broken
with a
leg, they had to
broken leg.
spin.
They had a leg. Okay.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
It works perfectly
They
now.
could put about 1% of their weight on their leg. Okay.
Anyways, Tawny was like, "Yeah, no, Brian's won a total of 1 comp, and now you have 5 more comps to add to your org resume. So congratulations, King." All right. Next up is social pots.
Before you get
And
into that, this was a lot of this was based. We did go back and check trust rankings, and this is why we asked you guys for them. You can continue.
So social pots isn't necessarily in Distortion, at least. It's not necessarily about who's the most social or who was able to pull off the most fair social game. It was more so the trust that you built with other players and the effect that it had in regards to trust rankings. Obviously, we did look at your game, your social game as a whole, but a lot of it was based on your ranking throughout each individual round. That's why we asked for trust rankings. That's why they're important. But we have X, Jesse, and Sean. And the winner of Social Pots is X. Literally, it took a rock for his trust rankings to plummet. And even the round that he left, he had like I said, 4 people had him either at number 1 or number 2. Multiple people had him super high. And like even in the pre-merge, he was probably the most trusted person of all time. We talk about impressive trust rankings in Distortion, and this has got to be up there with like some of the players who have gotten 10. There was a player in season 10 with 10 weeks of number 1 in the trust rankings. And I would say this is just as impressive because of the fact that not only were you trusted, you used that trust to move your game forward with multiple alliances, with most of those people in those alliances trusting you to the very end, if not like as far as they could. And I know we mentioned this earlier, but I truly believe, X, that the game you played this season in the short time was better than the game you played last season. And I think there's no doubt about that. You had so much more control. You really just latched on to the social aspect of this game, and I think that's what allowed you to become social pods this season.
I'm looking real quick. Give me 1 second. I want to check something. So I'm looking at trust rankings and starting from, give me 1 second. Like trying to make sure I'm reading
I
this.
see what you're trying to do, Grace. You want me to jump before it?
Go ahead.
6 rounds in a row. For the last 4 rounds of the pre-merge and the first 2 rounds of merge, X was the highest ranked trust ranked player in the cast, and that's literally including the round that X got rocked out.
He was number 1 when the round he got rocked out on the trust
Yeah.
rankings.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably would have been a very consistent streak from there.
I did my best, y'all. I did it.
So X, would you like to reveal who your actual number 1 is? Since
Yes.
you're probably leaving everyone
I
sitting.
would. So I really do appreciate everyone for bonding with me and giving me the opportunity. I don't normally experience this in orgs, and I really was having so much fun. But my true number 1, and I don't care if I would have lost to them, it was Jordan. I bonded with Jordan exquisitely well. We constantly talked social game. We constantly made social moves. I was constantly finding ways to bring Jordan in with the people that I wanted to go far with so that they wouldn't question it. I added Jordan was doing the same thing. I think me and Jordan brought a lot to each other. I fully appreciate that me and Laura are able to continue bonding. I appreciate that Minor actually wanted to give me a shot. And I think even Tani was someone I went from being like, I do not want anything to do with Tani. Please get me out of here. To I actually enjoyed Tani. Granted, they weren't a ride or die. But yeah, Jordan, I would have gone to the end with him without a doubt and not cared about the result.
But yeah, it's just more fun to talk about things, and y'all will see trust rankings soon. I will say there were a lot of strained relationships in this game that did end up getting fixed, but some did. We'll touch on that later.
Yeah, no,
Right.
I will say this too. X last season when he played, he literally was on the very bottom and was the least trusted from the returnees. And literally they had to win out in order for him not to be voted out. But he ended up doing better with his social game, especially with his bond with Cassie. And I felt like this season, especially, I think losing Jimmy round 1 definitely pushed him a little bit, but I've never seen X like on a social level like this before. It was because usually I can't see him, but he gets caught usually quite after. A lot of you guys were ready to die for him. You were ready for your game to end for him. I'm just gonna say that.
It kind of felt like Paul BB19 at a certain point, and I definitely compared it. I definitely compared X to Paul multiple times this season. Just on the fact that you had Jebs, but obviously they were the minority going into the merge, and then you had all these people who either were ride or die with X, or at least were either working with the people who were ride or die with X, or like second in command. It was crazy. Like, it was actually so impressive to watch. But that being said, next award is going to be presented by the reigning strategic player of the season in Cassie. So Cassie, whenever you're ready.
Yes. Yeah, I actually asked to present this one because this was the first time in my life that I've been referred to as strategic. Like, I'm not normally considered strategic, and I felt it was only appropriate to pass the crown along. You know, strategic can be viewed, I learned last season that strategic can be viewed a lot of different ways. And I feel like all 3 of our nominees for strategic player of the season absolutely showed strategy in different ways. But there was one player that we felt showed it just a little bit more well-rounded. And this is part of the reason I wanted to present this. So, some of you guys know, Jordan is one of my dear friends, IRL. And I pulled him into the Distortion universe and I knew he'd do well, but I think he surprised himself with how well he did. And I was so proud. Very strategic player. He had 15 different plans at once, and he was prepared to go with whichever one worked. He was well trusted by a lot of people, and had especially when working in tandem with X, um, so much like so many good reads on the game until, and then his reads shifted a little bit once X was out, but for the majority of the game, his reads were pretty solid, and he had a good grasp of what was happening in the game. So, I mean, I'm just so proud of him. I think that this is a well-deserved win, and yeah.
Yeah, I really don't have too much more to add. I really enjoyed watching you play. And it was just very fun to watch your mind work.
I would say, like, with the duo dynamic, like seeing how social X was, it worked just super well with Jordan's strategic game. And like I said, had the Rock Idol had George not made his appearance, this would have been. And I was saying in the pre-merge, I said this is going to be a deadly duo because you have two people who are dominating in one of the two important things with this game. And I feel like a lot of the plans and a lot of the things that happened, especially in the pre-merge, like Jordan was like saying we should do this, we should do that, and basically laying that foundation there, and X using that social ability to be able to like put it together.
I just want to add one thing. Your brain scares me, and that's great.
Next up,
Anybody else? Or Seth, did you have
Yeah.
anything to say?
No, I mean, Jordan, I think that when you had applied with Benji, I was like super happy because you would like I saw you honestly, in my opinion, sorry, Freddie Keaton. I was like so ready to vote for Jordan at the end of that deception mini. And literally watching your game this season, you play like how I want to play every time I come into an org. Like you're always like 3 or 4 steps ahead. You are also very bold. It got your boldness got you in a lot of hot water with the jury this season, but I think that you truly played really well. All right, and we have my favorite personal award. Next up, we have Player of the Season. Now, these 3 people killed it. These people really showed what it took to be a Player of the Season when it comes to Distortion. And this season was so hard because I felt like personally, there were so many contenders at different points in the game when it comes to this. We already talked about X. I feel like X's early placement is what ultimately did not get him a nom here, but I think that these 3 players really showed what it took to be the player of the season this season. And I think that the player who I'm just gonna go in my little blurb now. The player who
Wait,
won this.
before we continue to that, Jessie, since Jessie won the season, she is not eligible for this award.
Yes, that's correct. I should have said that. Jesse's already the player of the season. We just need to find a second one. The
You want me
player
to reveal?
I will give me a sec.
Okay.
I'm gonna do my blurb first and then reveal. So the player that we chose for player of the season, I feel really had when I think about their game, I think of it as like a roller coaster who that never has a drop. I think about the you know the and they were constantly going up, going up, going up, going up, and going up even when they were constantly, I wouldn't say constantly, I would say even at the end game when they were being seen as a threat, just to the point where at the point of the game where it was most important, unfortunately they weren't able to clutch it. But I think this person showed social, strategic, maybe not so much physical. They kind of flopped on that area, but I think that the person truly played one of the best games this season. And, from potentially being first boot to third place, I guess that's super impressive. So the player of the season this season is Sean. Sean, I think that like the first round of this game, and I think all prod can attest to this, you were in your confessional, lati dati da. You were like, yeah, I'm just gonna hold on to this little idol. Nothing's gonna happen. Like, and then like 10 minutes before tribal, all caps, oh my God, what the fuck's happening? I don't know why I signed up for this game. This is crazy. They're all gonna vote me out. I have to play my idol now. Like, and so it just felt like for me, every time that you were put in a position where either you or just all of Jebs were put in a position, I always felt, and I think all of Prod can agree, all of you, we all felt like you were the person who was able to escape the inevitable first. So, like, and there was a lot of talk tonight about who shut doors and who didn't. I feel like it's not so much that you didn't shut doors, it's that more people were gravitated towards you than they were with Jesse and Bryant and Jordan. And I feel like although doors might have been shut, like the way that you were able to fuse the social and strategic like together to really like build strong bonds, all while being able to work with your closest ally and work with your closest alliance to the point where you get to final three. And it literally took one tiebreaker question between you here and you where you could have been at the final tribal potentially winning. But I, I'm so proud of you, Sean. Like I brought this up at Final Three. Like you and Evan are the reason we decided to allow newbie pairs. After like getting to speak to you guys and getting to talk to Noah about who you guys were, and I told this to Evan, and I will tell this to you. Do not stop. You will win. Like I could see it. Like Sean, I said this very much like I said you the first round, I was like, you remind me so much of Noah in the way that you play, but like not in the way that like you piss everyone off. No offense, Noah, I love you. Um, but you just I don't know, you really found your groove at every point in this game. Like you really like I don't know. I just can't explain it like as well as I want to, but congratulations on this award. It's been an honor hosting you.
I don't really have much to say because Seb said he was going to do his blurb before and then did a blurb after. So
You're
he kind of just
welcome.
stole everything that I was going to say. Um, no, but literally, I just want to really emphasize that quite literally, I think, and this is no disrespect to the other two people in the final three, but I do think if Sean is in the end and gets that one question right, we look at a unanimous vote from this jury. So I want you to keep it your head all held high. I know you felt overwhelmed in terms of what an org was, but you clearly know how to play the game of Survivor. So please, obviously, take your break because you said you were going to. A lot of what orgers do really quick, and new orgers do all the time, is what they do is they think they can handle it, and then they go play multiple orgs at the same time, and then they go into overdrive, and then they leave and never come back. Take your break, come back, and we'll have good games to recommend for you to be able to play.
Right. Like definitely we definitely like you did absolutely just watching your story from literally almost first boot, which would have been insane because this game would have been way different. So watching you, I feel like round by round, like what Seb was saying, like a roller coaster, round by round, you were just going up, 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 up. Your drive still kept going the whole entire way and it never stops. And also, I want to talk about the fact you almost went home round one. I will say this, round two at trust rankings, you were number one on those trust rankings. So the bounce back that you had from there showed what potential you were going to have in this game, and you showed it the rest of the way through. And I'll have more to say in a second, but
And I just wanted to speak up here because again, like last season I was so shocked to get this award last season, and you are so deserving of it, Sean. Like you played such a great game, and I feel like you were very, very humble about it too. Like you played really well, but I don't feel like you had an ounce of like you weren't I don't feel like you were ever really cocky. Like you were always very nice to people. People liked you, but you didn't overplay your hand. And Evan is like in tears and it's making I'm living. Um, no, and honestly, I don't think you understand how insane it is for somebody who this is your first on-camera org to get player of the season. That is freaking insane. That
I mean,
doesn't happen.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just gonna be very candid and upfront with you. There was a point where I stopped feeding Noah information because I thought he was leaking it to you guys because of how well you were able, like, because of how well you were socially like navigating the situation, which was not like a first timer.
No.
So I took a little break of giving the VIP information because I literally went to Seven. I'm like, I'm gonna test the theory. I don't think it's right, but I'm testing this theory.
And you ate that round up too. Like
Exactly. So, all good.
Oh my God, all those words were so nice. I do love like the game of Survivor, the game of Big Brother. I did play Instagram games back in like middle school, beginning of high school, so I did have that experience. But yeah, no, there was no leaking. It was literally
that
just
No, I know now, but it was very much like I think it was the round after Malik left. I'm like, I want to test the theory, and then I didn't give the information until I think the swap, and I'm like, okay, we're good.
And it was so funny because Noah was like, "So what's happening?" We're like, "I don't know."
Exactly.
No, but yeah, I appreciate all of that. And I know I wasn't being cocky. I knew I was playing a good game though, but like I'm never a cocky person, so just a smidge.
We're ready to move on to the fun ones.
Host favorites.
Host
Anybody
favorites.
want to do Rachel's?
Yeah, I'll do Rachel's. Why not? Rachel sent us her favorite this morning. We didn't get a blurb, but just know this person is loved in the Distortions atmosphere, and I will say, I was very upset to see this person leave prod because they usually do what they asked us to do every round, which was to do confessionals. So Rachel's favorite was Benji. She didn't give us a blurb, but Benji, you're loved.
And also I just want to say Benji also picked Rachel for his host favorite during All Stars, and Rachel picked him now for this.
That's fun.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to Timmy.
That's me. Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna say it straight up because y'all probably think it's gonna be minor. It's not minor. I told him before the season start, I will never choose him as my host favorite. He's the love of my life, not my host favorite. This is more important. No, I'm kidding. But nonetheless, watching this person play has truly been an honor to see how your brain works because I will never understand it. I will never be able to do that. And it's a lot of fun to see just based on the way you make connections with people and are able to kind of get what you want done. Grace, you can show who it is, and I'll get a little further into that. My host favorite's X. X, you ate this shit. I can't lie. And just watching like you being able to adapt and from obviously season one being first boot to then season 13, you changed completely. And then now growing even from that, which I didn't know if a person could really grow from that because you played amazing there as well. To basically having everyone in the palm of your hand until you got rocked out, and then still having fun with everyone. Like you were doing Mario Party, you were playing Fall Guys with people in various different alliance chats, and that was funny to me. Because you kept the good vibes as well as the strategic mindset of the game, and it's just very. I really can't understate how impressive it is. So you're my host favorite. It's been a blast to watch you play. He might be asleep. That's all I got.
Cassie.
Okay, so I will say, like, I had my host favorite picked out from about the middle of the pre-merge, and I knew a lot of this cast going in. I wanted to pick somebody that I wasn't familiar with going in, and that um that I thought like that really impressed me in a lot of different ways. I do think it's funny that how well my host favorite ended up doing. And I actually like fought for them to be my host favorite because I had them picked out from like middle of the pre-merge because it was so I just found this person to be so engaging and so witty and so dry, like such a dry sense of humor in the best way. And I am so incredibly proud of my host favorite for winning tonight. So my host favorite was Jesse. I knew you had so much potential. I found you to be so delightful. You always would ask me for pictures of my cats. That is like one of the quickest ways to get to my heart is to ask me for pictures of my cats because they're my babies. Um, I was really impressed by you, and I found you to be very like you were easy to host. You were really kind, but you still have business. And again, like before I even knew that you were going to come close to winning, I had you pegged. Like you were my pick from early on. I'm so proud of you, and I'm really happy to call you my host favorite. So,
Go ahead and to Jen, somebody, Zeb, somebody want to read a
I'll
blurb?
read the
Timmy's doing
blurb.
it.
Or Timmy,
Yeah.
one of you.
So Jen has this to say about her favorite, and Jen says, "This person is my production favorite because on top of them being one of the kindest and genuine people in this community, watching them play and see their mind work each and every round is truly so fascinating. You played such a strong game, and seeing you keep fighting until the very end was so fun." So with that being said, Jen's proud favorite is Minor.
I guess Timmy did get to say Minor was his
I
favorite.
did. That's why I wanted to read it. Minor, Jen loves you.
I love Jen so much. Thank you.
And I didn't get to say it. I'll cut in and say I am just very glad in season 5, Minor was literally targeted for no reason. Because oh, LOL, minors get at comps, I guess. Um, but I'm very proud of you, Minor, for making it as far as you did. There was a point at Final 11 this season where your name came up for potentially having the idol, and we were like, "Oh fuck, it's happening again! It's happening again!
I got
Deja
so scared.
vu!" And you were able to just kind of you did that shit, and you were able to make it here. I'm so proud of you.
Created a specific award in season 5 called the Most Obsessed Award and gave it to Minor because literally Minor did not. A lot of people do stuff to get themselves out, and Minor did, but literally did nothing. And these people just they had their eyes on him for nothing.
Also, I'm gonna clear this up now because it's been asked multiple times. So, Sean had the Lou idol. Hot Girl Chris had the Sevilla idol. Mike found the Merge idol, and Mike also found the Exile idol that was planted there when being sent over. Um, yes. So Hot Girl Chris did not play it. He was being sincere when he said y'all voted him out with an idol. Uh,
And
but
there'll be more. We'll talk more about the idol search after this too.
all right. Next
Yeah.
up.
Billy.
Hi. This person I didn't know coming in, but this duo. So just preface it. This duo was someone I was really fascinated to see because they were kind of in my eyes a duo that I thought could really run the game together, and how wrong I really was because these duo at times just could not stand each other. Um, but that's how things go. But this person was able to make their own duo ship with somebody else, and was able to run the table with them until an inevitable where 66% of the people got a vote at tribal council sent them home at the final 6. My host favorite is Jordan. It was really fun getting to interact with you, especially on the idol searches, and you were just like getting overly frustrated with everything. And I just really enjoyed like your overall energy this season. You brought a very calming presence to this season for someone who played as social and gotten as involved as you did. Also, I really enjoyed like the random compliments being like, "This is my favorite orc I've played in a really long time." I really enjoyed that type of stuff. So like
It boosts the ego.
It
Helped
does
a
boost
little
the
bit.
ego.
I will say, like,
I do want to say with the idol board, and I think it was really funny. Just like your, um, everyone tried like, and I think Benji was the one who was doing this the most. It was like trying to figure out exactly like what the rhyme or reason was behind the idol board. It was me just clicking random things, be like, "Oh, this looks nice." There was really no rhyme or reason to anything behind the idol boards, and there was nothing hidden in the idol board except the idols.
Oh, it was
because of the twist. That's exactly the reason why. Because of the extra vote twist or
it
the vote
was
twist.
it was very funny that some of y'all were like, "Oh my god, the idol board changes each night." Okay, guys.
Like Benji fully prevented Miner from getting the merge idol at like the start
Oh
of
my god,
merge.
he did. Yes.
It was so funny.
There was one opportunity where like Miner's like, oh, I'm gonna go this way, and it would have led Miner to the merge idol like right
And
away, and
Benji
Benji's
was
like,
like, "No, it doesn't make sense with the logic."
Meanwhile, I picked pink at the end because I knew it was Grace's favorite color.
Well, Billy doesn't care about Grace's favorite color. Now does he?
I'm gonna go to bed because I have
Yes.
I've like got to be up soon. But I just want to thank the cast. You guys made this a very enjoyable season. I do want to offer the same. I wasn't gonna do this, but I offer it every season. If anybody wants to talk about like your individual games, what you feel like you could have done better, and just get like a genuine opinion about your game, where I'm not gonna hold back, like genuinely. Don't be afraid to reach out to me. If you want like a true like how did I actually do kind of thing. Um, we will get all the information out to you guys as soon as possible, whether that's like trust rankings, power rankings. I didn't do any merge power rankings this season since I wasn't around for the major majority of the game. I'm trying to
I
think
was, so if you
voting
want my
charts.
thoughts on that, I'll give it.
Yeah, we'll give our honest thoughts. And the thing is, we'll probably not agree on a lot of it. So like if y'all reach out to different people, you might get different answers.
That is very correct.
But I will say, and I'm making this public so I can hold Seb to it. I do want to have updated power rankings 2 weeks from now. Done. I'm holding us to it, and I'm going to make sure it gets done, whether you like it or not.
We held ourselves to it 2 weeks after season 13.
No, I didn't promise that. No one would do it with me. So like, don't go there with me.
Well, we are
But-
doing it. Well, 2 weeks after this, we will get
Well,
updated.
no, I wanted to be done 2 weeks from today. We were starting in on it as soon as possible, but I wanted to be done 2 weeks so we can get it out there for the public.
All right, sounds
I'm
good.
going to bed.
Good night, Billy.
Good night, y'all.
Right, next up is Grace's favorite.
I always preface this before I always give my host favorites. I love all y'all so very, 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 very much. Just so you know, I really do. But for this award, I have to pick one of you. So, this person, just I don't know, their presence immediately caught my attention when the game started. Like just seeing them. The way they interact and all of that, their presence literally like caught my eye immediately. And then the more I got to talk to them in their prod chat, and I started noticing a couple commonalities with them. I was like, I really stand this person so much. I already had an idea, like, oh, they better keep surviving because when it comes time to pick the host favorites, like I'm taking them pretty quickly. But this person, and also it wasn't just that, and seeing how they are on a personal level, but also their game was just absolutely phenomenal. They just kept running and running and running and running until ultimately they, I don't want to give it away entirely what to get, but until it just did not happen anymore, and it was super close for it getting to happen, but they would have killed it had it did. So I'm gonna reveal my person and then I can give more. So my host favorite came only one number away from potentially tying in this final immunity challenge and almost won this game. And that's Sean. The moment Taurus, Beyonce, Renaissance, seeing the way you bounced back in round one and you I'm somebody who likes to pick someone who fights their ass off, and you fought your ass off the second that happened, and you hit the ground running, and it just never stopped and kept fighting every opportunity that you got, even when you were in power, like making sure things happened the way they needed to, and getting to that final three. You were so close to making it there. But I didn't know you at all before coming into this, and I'm so grateful. And I said this a few times in the prod chat. Noah did us a big one with not only just you, with Evan too, both of y'all. But Noah did us a big one there, and I said that. And literally, you just no, I just love you so much, and you were just so much fun to watch this season. And anytime you jumped on those VCs, I always love joining them.
Oh, I love you too, Gracie. We are the Taurus icons, so
Yes, we are.
I knew we had that. And if we're ever in a game together, we'll be a force.
Gotcha.
And I'm sure saying that out loud will not get you guys targeted at all.
And you know what? If it does, then so what?
Same thinking, Seb. Same thinking.
Actually, I will wait. Oh, Sean, I will give you a heads up. It's probably a bad thing to be super tight with me because people love targeting me. So
correct. If
I
I
don't
ever
care.
played with Grace,
Be
I'd vote
careful,
her out.
All right. And finally, we're gonna go to Seb.
Well, first off, I really want to, like I said, thank you guys. I know it's late. You all could have just been anywhere else, but you're here with us. This person I chose, the past few seasons of Distortion, I've been trying to do two things. I like to pick a preseason winner pick, someone who I really liked from the interviews, their action shots, their intro videos, and then just purely based on night zero and day one, I like picking my winner pick from that batch. So my preseason winner pick was Mac, who unfortunately had to walk from the game. So it kind of did me a little bit of a disservice. But my night zero winner pick, my day one winner pick, the person who I felt like just I I had to draft them. I was super high on their performance. There was just like everything this person did is exactly how I would react and how I would act in a game. I'm the one making the stupid comments at Tribal Council. I'm the one trying to make people laugh. Like, I'm the one who, when there's awkward silence, I'm the one making the joke. And I feel like this person not only played the game super well, but just had me in tears. Literally, since the first moment we were like, hey, send your stuff in, and they sent their stuff in. I just, and I just adore this person. I think they're amazing, and I'm really glad that they found our space. So with that, my host favorite is Brian. Now, I know I just ruined Tawny's bingo board with this or something, because she was convinced that like every other prod member was gonna pick you except me. But I mean, ever since you sprayed that damn fucking spray bottle in your face, I was obsessed. I was like, oh my God. And then like the way you were getting your footing in the first rounds, I was like, okay, this is it. Like this is my winner pick. And the fact you're able to get here so close to win, I'm so proud of you. But truly, like just you shouting out every Michelle under the book, you threatening to sue me, like just or you summoning Tawny, everything you did this season was just so goofy. You could have been the worst player in the world, and I still probably chose you for this award because of just how you're just funny. And I think that I just think that the cherry on top was you interpreting the singing the singing question as you having to sing your game out just to like that screenshot.
Everyone thought it. They all admitted it.
I did
Everyone
not.
thought it.
I did not think that.
I love
but
a good song.
But the screenshot of you realizing that that's not what it was. I don't know. I just really enjoyed you this season, Bryant. I know
We
that
have a
you're
screen
like.
cap of it.
I know you're like, oh, I only play one game a year, and that's really sucky to other orgs because they should all host you. That being said, I think these last awards are graces superlatives, unless I'm missing something.
Oh, and then there's one more thing after that.
Oh,
But
and Timmy's
you know the
and,
last thing. But
and Timmy's wiki.
It's fully updated.
Oh yeah. And then no, I just like I said before I move on, and I said this earlier, every time I played the intro video for Seb, he would ask me to rewind back to your part specifically to watch you spray yourself with that bottle over and over again.
It was very refreshing, so I'm glad you found joy in it.
All right. So, people who've played, people who have not played, or people who played earlier seasons and I never did something like this. I come up with some very fun, quirky little pre-jury or not pre-jury, little superlatives because I feel everyone deserves love. Everyone deserves to have a little chuckle. And yeah, because I'm going to be so real, a lot of these are making fun of you guys, but you'll find joy in it, trust me. So, first up, we're going to go from first boot Jimmy all the way down to Jesse. So, Jimmy, I actually changed this one up a little bit from what I said prod. It's almost the same, but I changed the wording up. I'm trying to say idol list first out in history. I tried to incorporate the word idol in wildest because we saw what happened to Jimmy. He got idled out. And that's never happened at a Distortion tribal. I've never even seen it happen at an org tribal in general of a successful idol play round one.
Time in Real Survivor, and I think it's the only time I've ever seen it. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
It's fine. Moving on. We got Malik, the sweetest partner. So Malik, his priority, we were talking about duos and people not wanting to work together. Malik's priority was making sure Laura was all good. It was to the point he knew he was doomed at the tribal council. He went home and he still did not vote just to make sure that Laura had a little bit of extra, had a vote there so that way if she attends tribal council, she was going to be okay. And he was one of the few duos who would have put their partner over anything else. And also Laura said so many stories about you and I just kept going like, "Aw," the whole season. Next up, we have Mac, the strongest queen, because Mac's a drag queen, but also Mac was going through a lot in this game and ended up having to walk. It was a really sad situation, and we wish Mac nothing but the best and all the love. But Mac had a lot going on and definitely kept his strength up so much. Next up is Lee, I think. And I specifically think you're going to love this one that I came up with. The Abby Lee Miller of Distortion Dance Company. The amount of dance moms gifts, pictures that were sent in Lee's prod chat, in the tribe chat to Hot Girl Chris the whole time. And it was to the point, unfortunately, Lee got cut before he was going to do this, but the rest of his trust rankings, he was going to do the pyramid the way that Abby Lee Miller does it with all of you guys.
I literally was going to I was probably going to record it too. I was going to probably tape some names on my wall.
So next up, I have Oh, I have. I think I got Kendra next, actually. The geometric voice memo legend. So Kendra's communication, if you wanted to talk to Kendra, was the voice memos. And the fact I had to add geometric in there because of Kendra being a geometry teacher. But anytime you wanted to talk to Kendra, it was voice message, voice memo, voice memo, voice memo, voice memo. It was like to the point there was a few people that had a whole chain going. And next up is Tawny. So Tawny, I think you're gonna find enjoyment. And Timmy, you saw this, but I'm gonna apologize to you. The Timmy scrapbooker. There's a
I saw
specific
it.
photo of Timmy that Tawny. Anytime I saw Tawny talk to people, it was shared every single chat. That side photo of him.
It is a bad candid from
This is
my
a
wedding
wonderful
reception.
candid.
Oh, I got ones of Tawny too, but if it's anything like the rest of them, it is a fun time.
And we also found out tonight Tawny is a lot of Bryant.
Oh, yes, we learned that.
Next up, we have Giraffes. Giraffes has been asking me what their superlative has been all evening, and I don't know if Giraffes is paying attention, and I said Giraffes is gonna kill me. The aren't you glad for a normal vote? For those who don't know, Giraffes got Sareed out last season from a double earn twist that we did in the live night. And ever since the word earn, the word of the mention of Sareed or any of that, Giraffes gets traumatized. And so Giraffes actually went out by a normal vote, and there was no powers played, just maybe a little bit of extra votes, but no powers played, and there was no Suri moment that happened. Next up, we're gonna go. So I believe. So I got. Oh wait, no, Cameron's on here. Let me see. Hold on, what is going on? Give me a second. Oh, there we go. My computer just wasn't working. Cameron, the chaos stirrer. So Cameron would purposefully, like, there would be things that would happen. He would purposefully do, and he'll go in his prod chat right after and be like, "Yeah, I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose. I meant to do this. I meant to do that," and it would just be the most chaotic things ever. It was to the point where where he still had votes left to his name, and he lied and said he had 0 votes to X and Jordan. And he was like, "Well, I know I did that," and just wanted to cause chaos with that.
And he did cause chaos, but it indirectly got him voted out because it was such a bad lie. And they called him on it so quick. They caught him on it so quick. But he just stuck to it because he's like, "I'm going to cause chaos." And we're like, "Well, you did, but the chaos escorted you out the door." And it was so funny. Like, I felt so bad.
Those 2 non-existent extra votes could have saved him, possibly. Who knows?
Next up, so I don't have Evan on this slide because Evan did get bumped up. So I'm gonna just a preface before I move on. So I do have Evan here. The bluntest queen. You were too blunt to the point you got yourself targeted. When because you were ready to speak your mind, and you literally, I know you would, there's a few times you actually had me cracking up because you would be on voice messages and people would be like, "Well, Evan's not talking a lot. Evan's not doing this." You'd be like, "I don't give a fuck." Like, you would be saying that and just saying, like, you never BS'd anybody. But in the one thing that got you caught was when you swapped over and you told X and Laura that, or you're like, "Oh, I can't say who said Kendra's name first." Like, that their show truly, like, you didn't want to turn on your people, but it really showed you didn't care. You did not care what you said. You were going to say it and you were going to stand on it, which I really love. And next up, I have Hot Girl Chris here, and I have Hot Girl Chris as the charity volunteer. So when Hot Girl Chris and Lee applied, Hot Girl Chris was very busy, and was like, I don't know if I want to play this game. I don't think I can. And Lee worked super hard to get Hot Girl Chris as his partner. And Hot Girl Chris was like, fine, I'm doing it for charity though. And next up, we have
Wait, time out. That's what you meant by the charity volunteer?
yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you what I thought you meant later. Just
I
continue.
said the charity volunteer because he kept referring to being partners with Lee as playing for charity.
No, just keep going. I thought you meant something else.
Okay,
Wait,
X,
wait.
the victim of George's roulette. As we saw what happened to X, it was just this because of George the Rock. By the way, I love how the Rock has the name. George caused a wheel to happen and to keep spinning and spinning, and when didn't land properly, it caused X to be killed by George.
What were you saying, Sean? Sorry.
I was wondering if we could get clarification on why Hot Girl Chris was removed from the jury.
That will be clarified when we are off stream.
Okay.
So next up, Benji, don't kill me for this, but this is kind of a compliment for you because I know exactly what you probably think, what exactly I played with words with here. The Cooking with Benji channel. So I kind of made words around this. They kind of made it a more positive vibe because for those who don't know, there is a certain orger, Heatherly Cameron, who has her Cooking with Heather channel where she makes the worst food ever. But Benji is an amazing chef, and every time you see Benji on these calls, he's cooking up the most delicious looking meals, the best desserts that I always tell him, you better send them to my apartment. Like, and the reason I'm saying like the Cooking with Benji channel, because he needs to start his own channel on YouTube and take that bitch down with how good his food always looks.
Can I say something about this while we're on topic?
Be quick, because I want to move on.
In my prod chat one day, Kathy mistook Hot Girl Chris for Heatherly Cameron because of the initials, and I could not stop laughing for like 20 minutes after it happened.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. Tyler, the cuddle offerer. I'm pretty sure a few of you guys got asked for cuddles by Tyler during the season, and it wasn't just that. But Tyler was always asking his prod chat guest Noah as well. So he was always looking to cuddle.
Yeah, but I'd cuddle Noah, so it makes sense.
Okay, you know what? Going on. Laura. Oh, Laura, you know how I said I wasn't going to make any Domino's comments? I was right on that, but I had to include a little something.
You
The
couldn't
Mario
resist,
Pizza
could
Party
you?
host. Because you know Mario Party and there's pizza parties that are a
Oh,
thing.
okay.
So
Laura's like, move on.
not only she's the pizza queen, but also you would find Laura a lot in this game along with Jordan and X always playing Mario Party together.
I'm like Mario Party. What can I say?
Fucking Sivia people were partying without me?
All right, I'm moving on. Jordan, the gift dad. So not only Jordan being a dad, but every time there'd be somebody saying something crazy or anything like that, or us posting something in the announcements chat, Jordan always had some funny gift to respond to it all the time. And I had to scroll up earlier. There's a bunch of gifts that got sent in that project. Moving on. Minor, the Distortion DJ. So I told you what your superlative was for season 5 last night because you specifically used Taylor Swift songs. This time you changed it up a little bit and did different albums, different artists, and compared every single person in the game to a song every in production and your project gets morgues every single round. And honestly, I need to go back and listen to some of those songs because some of them sound really good.
I hate to interrupt you, but I need to point this out because this was constantly talked about all season. The vote count was 10-3. It was never 9-4. I don't know who misheard me at that tribal council. I even confirmed it with I think Jordan when he played his power, and it was 10-3, and there was still and Jordan's like, "Hey guys, I played this power, and they told me the vote was 10-3." And people were like, "I don't understand why Jordan's lying about this. The vote was 9-4."
There were a lot of vote counts that throughout the season. I think most of you actually don't know, so please look at that link I sent. Please, for the love of God.
Mike, this is not describing you as a person or how you played this game whatsoever. I want to preface that. The
At least
shittiest
not this
Distortion
time.
player because of the amount of times you talked about poop all season long. And you were guessing fart yesterday in the Scriplio game. And also, literally, like right before it was supposed to be Mike's turn. I'm in the bathroom.
No, I literally just had a. I wasn't doing that, but I won't say what I was doing because that's gross. But all that poop shit, no pun intended, intentional. Because I wanted people to be like, hey, if he's this honest about this, why would I lie about game info? So it was kind of strategic in my head, at least.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be so real. Never do this strategy again.
All right,
I don't plan on it.
Gonna go on to
Please.
Sean. So Sean, we were talking about us being Tauruses. I had to make your superlative about it. The boss has Taurus. Because here's the thing: when Tauruses walk into any room, they own it, and that's exactly. Anytime you, even after almost getting out the first round, and you're what you were doing in the second round, you own that tribe, the room that tribe was in, and you owned it every single moment that you got. And next up, Bryant, the biggest fan of all Michelles. Michelle Williams, Michelle Obama, Michelle The Rock George. All the Michelles out there.
Okay, I just said no, timeout. Jacob, how the fuck did you get this link?
I just
Wait,
built it for like
Jacob's
this.
here? What the hell?
Okay,
I swear I did not do that.
Continue. I'm not even gonna question it.
You know what? As long as I don't mind him here. Whatever. Okay, anyways. And then finally, we're gonna move on to our winner. Jesse, the coolest cat. Because every time somebody brought their cat up in the chat, Cassie, Minor, others, like Jesse, like she was like, okay, you better send me those cat photos. Like, I need to see them. Like, send them over. And not only the cat photos, but like Jesse always had very good even when she was arguing and bickering with Mike, she always had a very cool, calm composure when talking to people in the game. And so yeah, that's where she's the coolest cat. Alrighty, and now we are done with the jury finalist superlatives. Thank y'all so much for such an amazing season. This season is now getting ready to be done tonight and remain in the before forever. But as you know, once you leave the before, it's time to start heading to the beyond. And with that, I think it's time to turn it to Seb for what the beyond is.
Yes, of course. So I'm going to show y'all a preview for DS15. Now, we're not planning this for a little bit. You know, we got to take our breaks and stuff and get ourselves rearranged, but who says you can't tease a little theming? So, can everyone see?
And like we said earlier, the theme we had for this season originally before we were like, no, we need to do Blood versus Water again, is what we're doing for next season.
Yeah, so quite literally the only people who know this are Prod and then Minor and Benji, because they were here to plan this. That being said, can everyone see my screen? All right, awesome. And then I'm gonna stop my screen because I just realized I'm probably not sharing my sound.
Knowing you, probably not.
You know what? That is so mean. See how Timmy treats me, guys.
I give sass. I'm tipsy. It's my
All
birthday.
right, guys. Boom. Argy mateys, join us next season as we sail the seven seas as a number of pirates, captains of the beyond join us for season 15. When that is, I don't think even Prod knows. We'll figure it out. That being
we know
said,
later that we are taking a little break. We
It
are
will
taking
be
a
this
break,
year.
but later this year.
that being said, congratulations, Jesse, on winning Distortion Survivor Before and Beyond. Great job, Brian, on your final tribal performance. Thank you, cast. Thank you, Prod. You guys can stay, but it's also almost 1 o'clock EST. So if you want to leave, that's fine. I'm gonna go off stream, and if you guys don't have any questions, I'm here. I'm probably gonna bounce in 40